Gery alongside color commentator Noah Lancz, and boy, is it nice to be back.
Okay, test. It's so great to be back up here in the booth with you, Anthony. It's been so long, and it is great. No, I won't say great again.
We only have one camera.
What do you mean? I can't look.
Wait, are you live right now?
I know. Well, I guess that's...
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits.
Friday night lights begin to shine. Good evening. I'm Anthony Gery here, joined by Noah Lancz on the OPS pregame show, and boy, is it exciting to be back up in the booth. You can feel the anticipation in the air. Everybody's nervous. Everybody's excited. It's football season.
It's so great to be back up here in the booth with you, Anthony. It's been a long-waited time. I cannot wait for an action-packed SAC season.
And let's get into the OPS pregame show by recapping the past seasons for both Homestead and Northrop. For the Spartans, last year actually ended up being a down year, finishing 6-4 while being a first-round exit to their rival, the Carroll Chargers.
In a very disappointing season for the Spartans, as going into the season, they were the back-to-back SAC champions. It was very much a down year, losing twice to Carroll, 2 of their losses, and they had very close games.
And what makes the losses stand out, besides sectional, all of Homestead's games were lost in the final minutes of the fourth quarter. They were all close losses except for that one in sectionals. Could have been because they had a junior quarterback, a young, inexperienced quarterback, but they're going to have to turn something around this year.
And that's really where you win the games. Those one-score games is what's going to determine who is your conference champion. They had to play better going down the stretch, and they could not do that. That's why they didn't win the SAC.
Turning our focus over to the Northrop Bruins, last season was not Northrop's best year. The Bruins had a tough season, only winning 3 games, coming in 6th overall in the SAC.
And it was their worst record since 2018, where they also went 3-7. That's what has led to this new change in head coach for Northrop. They're really going to be looking to turn it around here. They've got a new quarterback. It'll be interesting to see how this new team does.
And if you look at that schedule, you can really see that Northrop, they were never really in many games besides those first 2. Their losses were not close losses. They couldn't get much worked out, and that's why they had to go to the head coaching change.
Yes, that's definitely why. You see, if you look at their wins, only a 1-point win over Wayne. The other 2 wins were much better, but they really got blown out. They were either in it and going to win it, or they were just out of it.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll go into detail about the matchup today between the Homestead Spartans and the Northrop Bruins, and you'll hear from Homestead head coach Chad Zulman. You're watching the OPS Pregame Show on Homestead Live.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco specializes in pizza, subs, and more. Order online at marcos.com or by phone at 625-6800. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the .91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Southwest Allen County Schools is our home. Home to dedicated staff, passionate teachers, and a generous community that values and supports education. We believe our culture of learning embraces change, flexibility, and innovation. We believe our schools serve as the hub of our diverse community. We value hard work, attention to craft, and tenacity. We ask questions, share ideas, and work together to find new ways to do new things, great things, for our students, for our district, and for our community. In partnership with parents, we believe learning encompasses critical thinking, creative thinking, collaboration, communication, citizenship, and resiliency. We take pride in our successes and share in our accomplishments. We are Southwest Allen County Schools, preparing today's learners for tomorrow's opportunities.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to the OPS Pregame Show. I'm Anthony Gery alongside Noah Lancz. And now let's take a look at the history of this matchup between the Spartans and the Bruins. As you can see, Homestead has dominated this series in years past, with Northrop only being able to get one win out of the 17 matchups in matchup history.
And you'd expect to see more of the same here tonight. The first matchup 24 years ago, and most of the wins for Homestead has come in the tournament. 10-0, just a great record there, but they've dominated in the SAC as well, going 6-1 more recently against the Bruins. So Homestead's just going to look to continue their dominant streak against them.
And that one loss Homestead had, that one win Northrop has had in this entire series, was 2 years ago when Homestead was shocked at home. That was just the last time these two teams faced off at this field. Could it happen again tonight? We don't know. It was a surprise. Homestead, obviously the heavy favorites tonight, but that's how it was 2 years ago.
Yes, it definitely could happen again tonight. This Homestead team is very different than it was a season ago, and you never know what Northrop could have. These two teams are going to look to bounce back and get a statement win in the first week.
Okay, now let's shift our focus towards today and who has the pieces to start their season 1-0. Looking at Homestead's it factors, the Spartans offense is led by returning starting quarterback Peyton Slavin, looking to have a big senior season.
And he just had a really good junior year a year ago, first season as a starter. You see his completion percentage just under 60%. He's going to look to improve that this year. His TD to interception ratio pretty solid, just under 3-1. So he's just going to have to be able to get a good connection going on with his new receivers, obviously losing Nate Anderson and Gage Sparrow.
And on defense, Jackson Chrisman is the man every team's offensive line coach will be trying to contain. This guy, but he is just an absolute beast. He's going to be very difficult for those offensive lines. Last year, 39 tackles, 18 solo tackles, 10 sacks, and 8 tackles for loss. A ridiculous stat line.
I mean, there's really no way to stop Jackson Chrisman. He's going to come in bulldozing and get his way no matter what. He was one of the best players last year. He was voted by an Outside the Huddle's preseason player of the year. He's going to draw a lot of attention, but last year he had Matt Miller, so we're going to see how that affects. This year he has Johnny Waddell. Waddell is going to look to be effective and draw more double teams.
And yeah, that's going to be the big factor for Jackson Chrisman. We could almost even see something happen this year where Jackson Chrisman gets all the attention and guys like Waddell and others can just step up into that role and get all the sacks on the other side. It's going to be all about spreading out the Spartan defense. That's going to be Jackson Chrisman's role this season.
And to go along with that on the defensive line, Orlando Sheets stepping in now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, watching from all over the country, it's about that time. It's been a pleasure hosting you guys on the OPS pregame show. But now it's time to say goodbye until halftime. When we come back, it'll be no Johanningsmeier sitting down with Coach Zulman to hear his thoughts on tonight's game. Friday Night Lights. There's nothing quite like it. This is Homestead Spartan Football on Homestead Live.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits.
You don't plan on getting an injury, so why should you plan ahead to care for one? At Orthostat, you don't have to. Whether you get hurt on the job or on the field, or if you're experiencing sudden, localized pain, we fix the unexpected. Our walk-in clinics provide emergency access to a full range of diagnostic, non-surgical, and surgical treatments. And the best part is, there's never an appointment or referral needed. So you can get in, get out, and get going. Orthostat is recognized by Anthem and other insurance plans as an alternative to the ER.
Welcome back to the OPS Football Pregame Show. I'm Noah Johanningsmeier, joined alongside Coach Chad Zulman for the Spartans. And Coach, last year your team went 6-4, along with a 4th place finish in the SAC, which was considered to be a bit of a down year after 2 straight SAC titles in 2019 and 2020. Have you noticed a change in the collective mindset now that the bell doesn't reside at Homestead anymore?
Well, if their effort in the offseason is any indication, yeah, I think they're a little hungry for it. And I think we were all disappointed with some of those results in some of those games last year. So they're hungry. We got a lot of new faces that'll be on both sides of the ball. And they've had a great offseason, so I'm anxious to get them started.
And this year, you only returned 5 starters from last season, but at a school like Homestead, expectations are always high. Do you have the feeling there are a lot of players chomping at the bit, trying to get the H on the side of their helmet entering this season?
Yeah, the program right now is we got a lot of juniors sometimes waiting for seniors to graduate for their opportunity to start. So, and that's healthy. And competition is good. So we've had really good competition in the off season or preseason, and now as we hit it. So those guys have been waiting for some of them for 3 years to get on the field, and we've got some young kids coming up that are doing a good job too, and probably get some opportunities. So it's been healthy, and we like the squad that's come about.
And looking at your opponent this week, the Northrop Bruins, they're coming off of a 3-7 season from last year, and they have a new face at head coach with Quentin Bowen. Talk about Northrop's weapons this year and how you plan on containing them tonight.
Well, offensively, they've got a quarterback who can throw it well, a couple of good receivers for sure, and then the running back I thought was really talented. So they've got some key spots covered. And up front, they've got some returning starters up front too. So they probably have more returning starters than we do on both sides of the ball. And on defense, they have a defensive lineman that's outstanding, and when we've seen some good play in the corner position, and some of the linebackers are really flat on the football. So they're a solid football team on film, and as always, they'll come out hungry and anxious to play, just like we are, and so it'll be a battle. And we expect to have to play well to be successful.
And thanks for joining me in the studio, Coach. As always, a pleasure. Best of luck tonight against Northrop.
Thank you.
And we will return with more of the OPS pregame show after these short messages.
But you've got Friday Night Lights back here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We've got the Homestead Spartans hosting the Northrop Bruins. We've got a great matchup here. All around the state, great matchups, but this one is going to be a good one.
Taking a look at the coaches for tonight's game, it's the tale of two opposite ends. One head coach is the longest tenured coach in the SAC, heading into his 19th season tonight, and the other is putting the headset on as head coach for the very first time in his career.
And Quentin Bowen, after 17 years at rival Snyder, being assistant coach there, he has switched over to Northrop now. Just a big statement and a little bit of saltiness coming from Snyder from that, but he's going to really look to impose his offensive style into this game. He's offensive coordinator at Snyder, and look for that to continue here.
And to put that into better perspective, when you look at the two head coaches on the field tonight, Noah, one is coaching in his 201st high school football game, while Northrop's Quentin Bowen gets to start his first game by taking on the coach who's been doing it the longest in the SAC.
And it's really just a crazy comparison. 200 more games for one coach than the other. We could see that come into play with the management of this game, timeouts, how they go fast-paced, slow-paced. We're just going to see how it affects this game.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting to watch how the most experienced coach in the SAC goes up against the least experienced and see how Quentin Bowen can handle that least experience and see what he does here tonight. And it is truly impressive Coach Zulman's consistent success throughout his 18 years at Homestead with not even a season below 500 and an impressive 16-2 record in season openers.
He's been so good ever since he took over here for the Spartans. 152 wins, surpassing that 150 mark just a season ago. 12-1 versus Northrop. He's going to look to continue that, and he's been dominant in season openers, wanting to make a big statement right away.
And as we just look more into this matchup, just looking at the Homestead Spartans on offense, they're returning three true starters from last season with Peyton Slavin, the quarterback, and then two offensive linemen, Eric Williamson and Jackson Bell.
Yeah, it's definitely a different-looking offense. Another key returning player is going to be Brett Fox. He stepped in for Des Smith when Des Smith went down a year ago. Now he's switched over to slot receiver. He's going to be making a big impact as well. But this is a very different Spartans offensive team.
Yeah, it's a completely different offense, and it's the same thing with the defense, as Jackson Chrisman and Orlando Sheets are the two returning, not Orlando Sheets, Johnny Waddell are the two returning starters for the Spartans.
But you mentioned Orlando Sheets. He's going to be very important as well. You could see him be like Jackson Chrisman going into his junior year. Both are very built. They're built similarly, stepping in to a starting role their junior year, both very dominant. That's where Homestead's really going to have to be good this year, that front three.
as for Northrop, they return Keon Bates at quarterback, who had some experience last season, along with Jaden Schmenk at wide receiver.
Yeah, Bates did not get too many offensive plays a year ago, and it's just going to be interesting to see him step into that new position. Roosevelt Norfleet III was the starter there a year ago. Keon Bates, 19 for 47, a very bad completion percentage, 3 TDs, 4 interceptions.
And now we're going to send it down to Anthony Gery as he's on the sideline with Coach Zulman for the Spartans.
On your feet. Here comes your 2022 Homestead Spartans.
And thanks, Anthony. We're back up to the studio. And Noah, what are your keys to the game heading into this one for Homestead?
My keys to the game for Homestead is strike early offensively. With all the question marks and worries that they have, they're really going to have to find their new offensive pattern. A lot of new pieces coming in. That new wide receiver core after Nate Anderson and Gage Sparrow, 2 very reliable players a year ago. They're gone now. They've got some sophomores that are going to be starting. Look out for them.
And what are your keys to the game this game for the Bruins?
For the Bruins, they're going to have to exploit Homestead's youth on defense, especially on the corners. Other than Gavin Kozad, Homestead may struggle with the pass defense tonight. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Whoever's going to be able to get out to the faster start and just keep on going down the field is going to be successful.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting here tonight for both of these squads. It's going to be a week 1 battle. And Northrop really looking for almost an upset here, which they were able to pull off 2 years ago and beat the Spartans at the Spartans' place in the 2020 season. But then after that, the Spartans went on and won the SAC. We'll see what happens here tonight.
And the Spartans definitely going to look to reverse that this year and try to get back to that SAC title in the bell. Get the bell back here to Dave S. Walters Field. It's been a struggle a year ago. It could continue this year.
Yeah, definitely could continue, but the Spartans are looking to turn it around. They got those 2 back-to-back SAC championships, and they want the bell back they want it back next year, and their effort to do that starts now.
Homestead's really going to have to figure out their offense and how it's going to all flow together. That's going to be really important for this first game, just getting everybody comfortable playing with each other. A lot of new pieces for them. New running back, sophomore Jake Thrash is going to be stepping in. Kale Swagger, sophomore. And then Mason Oxier, senior wide receiver. And then Grant Leeper, the basketball player, is switching over to football. He's going to be another wide receiver, 6'7". He's going to be hard to miss out there on the field. We'll see how all of them impact this game.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to see what Grant Leeper can do this season for the Spartans after playing basketball the last 3 years for Homestead, now getting a slot at tight end for Homestead football.
And I mean, if you're Northrop and planning for this team, you look at your defense, you're like, who's going to guard this guy? You see 6'7" on the depth chart, and your tallest D-back is 5'11" Bryce Madison. He's just such a matchup problem, Grant Leeper is. They're really going to have to be able to find him, and we'll see how he transitions to football.
And to start off this game, it's going to be Jacob Gump kicking off for the Bruins, sending it to Homestead.
An area of the game where Homestead was very good last year. Nate Anderson and Gage Sparrow, their 2 returners, could make a very big impact on the game with big returns.
And off we go. Oxier back there looking to return it now for the Spartans, as he's brought down inside the 20-yard line there. Not the best field position to start off for the Spartans.
And a great start for the Bruins. another one of those little punch kicks by their kicker there, their punter, Jacob Gump, and an awkward bounce caught Oxier off guard.
Slavin's going to be leading the drive now for the Spartans. Last year, threw for over 1,800 yards for the Spartans.
Welcome back to the OPS football pregame show. I'm Noah Johanningsmeier, joined alongside Coach Chad Zulman for the Spartans.
Fox, as he gets about 7 yards on that first carry.
And he's going to be probably the most important player on this offense for the Spartans. He is so elusive. If you get the ball in his hands, it's so hard to bring him down. He's agile, he's quick, he really does it all. He makes you think way too much. He's just a shifty player. Just get the ball in his hands, and he's going to go to work.
Once again, Slavin's in the gun here for the Spartans. Looks like Northrop might be bringing a blitz. And now they're going to just run it up the gut, and that's Hinton for the Bruins with a big stop behind the line of scrimmage there.
A great play by Jelante Hinton, getting in between the gap and going right to Thrash. And it was one of those plays that if you watch film from a year ago, Homestead did all the time, a little option play. Peyton Slavin loves to keep it himself. He's almost a dual threat quarterback. When he does that, he's very good on his feet, so they've got to be aware of Slavin pulling it out there, but just a great job by Hinton making the right read.
Homestead converted on 50% of third downs last season, a pretty good team on third down. And now they're going to be running it up the gut this time, and they get the first down. Fox was the ball carrier there for the Spartans as they got that first down.
And I think that's something you're going to see a lot this season for the Spartans. Even though Fox is listed as a slot receiver, he was a running back last year. You saw in that last play, Cale Swagger come across the middle in motion before the play. Little trickery there. And then after that, Fox reversed it back to the left side. I think they're going to try to use him as many ways as they can.
Slavin to drop back to pass once again over to the right side to Oxier, and he's snuffled down right away by two Northrop Bruin defenders.
And so far on these 4 different plays for the Spartans, they've been getting it out of the hands of Slavin really quickly. A bunch of quick passes and then 2 runs. So look for that to just keep on playing a role into this one. Maybe Northrop's going to start pressing a little more, and that's where Homestead goes for the one over the top.
Yeah, and it's really looking like they're just trying to get, or the Spartans coaching staff is trying to get Slavin comfortable early on in this one with some dink and dunks.
Definitely want to ease him back in after a season ago. As you see, another similar play from before. It looked like the exact same one. But Swagger, they keep on using him in that motion spot. Maybe at some point they're just going to run one of those little dump passes. It's a new type of offense, really. Andy Reid brought it in. You see the Chiefs do it all the time. They had Travis Kelce or Tyreek Hill come across the middle. Just a play like that, a lot of misdirection, trying to fool the other side.
Yeah, that's really where Coach Skelton comes in as such a huge factor for the Spartans, the offensive coordinator, just designing pre-play motions and other figures for the Spartans that just make it so hard to defend. Spartans in a bit of a heavy formation here with tight end Grant Leeper and H-back John DeLay on the right side. As Slavin drops back, and now he's pressured outside, and he just throws that one away. Nice containment there by the Bruins D.
And right now, Homestead really just not able to get anything going down the field too much. Longest pass in the air has been just 5 yards. And if you look just pre-play, the safety of the Bruins, Bryce Madison, he's only standing about 12 yards back, and he's their only safety back there. So you got to think at some point they're going to try to use one of those fast receivers and go for one over the top.
Once again, Slavin looking to pass. This one, another short one over to Oxier. And then a gang of Northrop defenders bring him down a couple yards there. Spartans still looking for some big plays.
And that's exactly what you have to do as the Bruins, just gang tackling right there. Everybody getting involved, making sure you get him down. Last year, Homestead liked to run those screens. You see it again this year. But a lot of times players would get away. They like to run across the middle. The Spartans do. They're wide receivers. And that's where those linemen, even though the play is away from them, they still got to be involved.
Slavin dropping back to pass once again. He's got a bunch of time. Fox is open down the field, and Slavin finds him down to the 25-yard line. That's a big play for the Homestead offense.
And Brett Fox was wide open on that play for eternity, it seemed.
Fox is open down the field, and
probably smart to not throw across his body, and that's why I'm up here calling this game instead of down there. But he made the play in the end for a big gain. Finally, Spartans getting a big play.
The Spartans offense moving now all the way almost into the red zone. This time they're going to run it up the gut, and they are going to get the first down. What a run there by the sophomore Jake Thrash.
And I'd say that's a pretty good way to start your varsity career. A big run right there. Yarder. And it's that inside zone handoff that the Spartans have been running, and it's been very effective so far.
The offensive line has really been clearing nice holes for the Spartans run game right now.
They have been, and it's been a pretty big turnaround. Only two returning starters from that line, Eric Williamson, the left tackle, and Jackson Bell, the right guard. So a lot of new pieces, but so far they're doing pretty well.
And once again, it's going to be a run. Thrash, and he goes all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. Jake Thrash with the first one of the year.
And that was just a great drive by the Spartans. They kept on doing the same thing over and over when they were handing the ball off. They had a bunch of quick passes, getting it out of Slavin's hands. And then they had the big play that set up Thrash for those two final runs to get them in the end zone.
And on that drive, they were really using Brett Fox in all sorts of areas, put him out to the wide, put him in the slot, and put him in the backfield. He seems like he'll be a big player for the Spartans this year. And the extra point is good by Nico Stravez, and the Spartans get a 7-0 lead, and we'll be right back with more of Homestead Spartan football.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits.
And welcome back to Homestead versus Northrop as the Spartans now lead 7-0 after a Jake Thrash touchdown run and a Nico Stravez extra points.
That's a great way to start your high school career. Two great runs there by Jake Thrash. Now going to the other side of the ball, we'll see how Keon Bates does.
And off and away now, the Spartans kick it off. And Jaden Schmake's going to return this one. He's back inside the 5. And that was a dangerous move that does not pay off. Horrible field position for the Bruins.
And he looked really confused there whether or not he caught that in the end zone on the initial, just the ball coming back to him, he was looking over to the ref for about 5 seconds, almost asking if he could take the touchback or not. Apparently didn't know, so he tried running it out, but obviously not the right decision. It's going to put the Bruins in a very bad start.
Yeah, it's just one of those bad spots where it looked like he caught it about the half-yard line. Probably should have just ran out of the way of that one. But now the Bruins are going to try to go out there and get themselves out of this bad field position.
This could be a big problem here for the Bruins. 6:31 left in the first quarter, but if Spartans get a sack, get a safety here, go up 9, getting the ball, Bruins have to be careful.
Barksdale Wilson takes the first carry of the game for the Bruins, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Braxton McLaughlin there.
McLaughlin, one of the players stepping in this year as a starter. He's a strong safety, but you see that Spartans strong safety come down a lot while they're especially close to the goal line, making a play there.
And right now, the Spartans in a bit of a heavy set. They have 4 defensive linemen out there as they normally just run a 3-3-5 defense. Once again, they're going to run it up the gut, the Bruins, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That one might be a safety, and it is. The Spartans defense makes the stand, pushes the Bruins back, and gets up 9-0.
What a great way for the Spartans to kick off this season on both ends. Just a great job driving down from not great field position, an 82-yard drive to start it, and then Schmenk making the bad decision to return it, and then just running around to no man's land. And then that defensive line, we talked about them in the pregame. They're going to be so important this year, being so effective. They're clogging up the middle there, and they're showing you why they're so good.
And there's no better 2 first possessions for the Homestead Spartans season than those right there. But then when you look at from the Bruins, they need a turnaround right now. Their defense is going to have to come up with a big stop on this possession to try to turn them around momentum, or else it could get out of hand in this one.
Yeah, it really could get ugly quickly. Spartans love to score. They were 3rd in the SAC last year, 32.5 points overall per game, but at home 39.6. And then from the other side, the Bruins allowing 31 a game, 34 on the road. So just really going to be a struggle for the Bruins if they let another touchdown.
Once again, it's going to be Oxier and Fox back on this return. And Jacob Gump going to be the kicker for the Bruins after the safety.
And in the NFL, you may see a lot of times the team that just had the safety deferred elect for a punt, but here you're seeing Gump go with the kickoff, and it worked effectively last time.
And now Oxier has it, and he muffs the return, and it looks like he landed back on it. And the officials are going to say that he did, and it's Homestead ball.
And that could have been very bad for the Spartans there. If that flipped around, this game would be very different just from that. And just a big mistake from Oxier right there. Stepping into a returner, he's definitely going to need to get more used to it, especially those line drive kicks there.
So now the Spartans going to have nice field position here, just 60 yards out from the end zone. And once again, they're spreading it out with the 3 receivers out to the right side. Slavin drop backs the pass once again, and that one is going to be dropped by Brett Fox. It was a little low, and it's going to be 2nd down for the Spartans.
And I think the Spartans are setting this up so they could go backside to the 1v1 matchup of Grant Leeper, 6'7", and Amarian Ennels, 5'9". I think at some point they're going to look to exploit that matchup, just kind of catch the Bruins off guard, just keep on going to that screen over and over, and then switch it up.
Yeah, right now the Northrop Bruins don't have anyone 6 foot starting other than Jelante Hinton on defense, and he's definitely not going to be covering Leaper. So Leaper definitely has a height advantage out there. Slavin gets it again for the Spartans and hands it off for Fox, who's brought down right away at the line of scrimmage by the Bruins defense.
And a little scuffle going on over on the Spartans sideline. It looked like it was Amarian Ennels getting involved there. A few players pushing him around. The coaches had to split it up. That may be something to watch for if the Bruins are already running high.
And now a 3rd down and long for the Spartans. We'll see if they can convert once again. They did on the first possession. Slavin dropping back to pass. He has some time. Gets it across the first down marker to Oxier. And Oxier gets down across the H and down to the 40. A nice gain for the Spartans on 3rd down.
I'd say that's one way to make up for your muffed catch there. That was a great ball in there by Slavin, slinging it. 2 players on Oxier, but that did not matter at all.
Now the Spartans doing their traditional look to the sideline, pre-snap, getting the play call. Slavin dropping back to pass once again. He throws it deep to Grant Leaper, who's open, and he drops it. That one was a touchdown if he could have held on, but over there he was looking directly into the sun, probably lost the ball.
And I mean, that's the tough thing, switching over from basketball. These players, Grant Leaper at least, has been struggling so far, making that transition over, just catching the ball. He had a wide open one there. You know that's going to bother him. But that's exactly what the Spartans are going to look to do right when they catch the Bruins off guard, go deep.
I mean, right as the ball was snapped, you could see Grant Leaper was open on that one. Bruins probably won't let that fly again. Now the Spartans do some play action. And then Slavin is pressured down low, and he's brought down for a sack by the Northrop Bruins. Jelante Henson and Marcus Logan Jr. were both in on that one.
This next play is going to be huge. It's 3rd and 12 now for the Spartans at their own 41-yard line. If they pick up here, they're getting into field goal range, looking to score. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge stop by the Bruins after Spartans just drove on them that first drive all the way down, looking a little better here on defense.
Yeah, this is a very long 3rd down attempt now for the Spartans. Slavin takes a snap, throwing it short to the right side and incomplete. A huge stop there for the Bruins. Might be the momentum shifter that they need.
They definitely needed that. You could not go down 2 touchdowns and then the safety on top of that. Even a field goal would really make it hard just to come back so early in this one with all the momentum going the Spartans' way. But flipping it around, now you've got Keon Bates. They're not backed up here. He's going to have a real opportunity to show why he earned the starting job this year.
Yeah, it's going to be another difficult field position if they can get a nice punt here, as Braxton McLaughlin sends it away. And that's a high arcing punt inside the 5 and bounces into the end zone. Touchback. Bruins will start it at the 20-yard line, and we are going to be sending it down to our sideline reporter, Anthony Gery, real quick.
Is it going?
And now we're back up in the booth as the Bruins offense is going to be getting it going. Once again, Keon Bates in at quarterback. He drops back for a pass, throwing it deep down the left sideline, and it's caught over there by Jaden Smank for the Bruins. A nice play there, and when they're not backed up, maybe they can get some movement flowing.
And that's what the Bruins are going to look to do, exploit these cornerbacks, these new cornerbacks for the Spartans. Right there attacking Sam Stewart. He's only a sophomore, getting his first action. He got burned there on the outside, and then Bates just threading the needle in between two Spartan defenders.
And now they're going to be handing it off to Barksdale Wilson this time, and he's stuffed right away at the line of scrimmage by the Spartans defensive line.
And if you're the Bruins and you want to get down the field, I think they're going to have to do it through the air in this one. That front line for the Spartans is just way too strong, and they're way too hard to get past. Running the ball is not going to be much of an option. You've got the best defenders for the Spartans up on that line and a lot of new players out on the outside. Attack the outside, get the ball outside, maybe run a few screens. Just get the ball where you can get better space.
Bates throws a deep one once again. This one up to Woods. It's a jump ball, and it's dropped down to the ground. Wyatt Little of the Spartans and Davion Woods both had a shot at that one. Neither get it. It falls to the ground, and it's third down for the Bruins.
And both those balls for Bates were kind of floaters there. Both deeper throws, but that one definitely floated on him there, and Little had the better chance out of the two to come down with that one. A little frustrated that he didn't, but right now Bates has got to be careful just throwing it around. Can't be giving the ball away.
And whistle's blown, and a timeout is going to be called for the Bruins. Quentin Bowen trying to discuss it for the Spartans right now, as we're going to send it to a quick break and we'll be right back for more of the OPS, or for the Spartan football.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
And welcome back to Homestead versus Northrop, as Northrop is currently facing a third down and long.
And this is a big third down here. They've got to convert, get something going on the offensive side. Great play, but there is a flag.
And that was a nice catch by Matt Morgan to get the first down, but we'll first see what the officials say about this flag. It was in the backfield.
You'd expect it to be a hold just based off these reactions from the Northrop players. And if it is, that'd be a 3rd and 19, making it so much more difficult for the Bruins.
And you were correct on that one. It's a hold on the Bruins, and they're going to be walking it backwards a long ways, as it looks like it occurred maybe 10 yards in the backfield, and then it's a 10-yard spot foul. So this is going to be a really long third down now.
And that is just a very unfortunate situation for the Bruins. Maybe that's why Bates had so much time to throw it there, but they had converted it. Now they're going to be facing a 3rd and 26.
That's going to be very difficult for the Bruins. They were getting some offensive movement flowing this drive, but that penalty might just shut it off.
And you may just see a quick run here, a screen, just try to get a little bit better field position for the punt.
Bates dropped back, and it looks like he's just throwing a Hail Mary up there. It's a jump ball. We'll see who comes down with it. No one, as it pops out to the ground. Once again, it was Wyatt Little in on that jump ball.
Seems like he's been right in the middle of all those jump balls. He's got to come down with one of these soon. He's looking very confident down there, stepping into that free safety spot. But so far, Spartans' defense has looked very strong.
And they have looked very strong, especially on that first possession where they drove Northrop back a couple of yards and got a safety.
Yeah, and just when you thought they finally let up a little bit right away, they shut the Bruins down and get the ball right back.
And now it's going to be a penalty on Northrop here.
Penalty flag on the play. Delay of game.
A delay of game on Northrop. So now it's going to be pushed back all the way to 4th and 31.
The Spartans are going to be looking to get this one inside of the 50, start their possession there. As you see Gump backed up in his own 10.
And Gump punts this one up into the air. It's a high arcing punt. Gets down across the 50 and a couple nice Northrop bounces. And it rolls all the way inside the 30. A great punt there from Jacob Gump.
And that is exactly what the Bruins needed, completely changing the field position. You'd expect Oxier, if he were to get that run back for just even 10 yards, he would have been inside of the Bruins 50, but instead Spartans starting inside their own 30. But this possession is going to be important. They were kind of stalled on that last one after getting really good field position to start. They've got worse than they have here, better than the first. We've seen them drive already 82 yards in the first possession. Going to just look to get back to what they were doing then.
And as always, it's going to be Slavin and shotgun for the Spartans as Khalil Swagger comes in motion and they hand it off to him. Now he's going down the left sideline, gets a little bit of breathing room, and then is forced out of bounds there by the Northrop defender, Amarion Rogers.
That's a great job by Rogers to come all the way across the field and track down Swagger there. Another one of those plays of Swagger coming across the motion. First time he got it, though. On the previous ones, it had gone to Fox. He'd been the one carrying the ball. That time, Swagger finally getting in the action.
Slavin this time hands it off to Fox, and he runs it up the gut for a couple of yards. Another nice carry for the Spartans as they face another third down.
Fox on the carry.
Looks like it's going to be a 3rd and 1 coming up. So probably expect another run up the middle here for the Spartans. Just get that 1 yard, then move on to the next. We'll see what they do here, though. They've been really good so far running up the middle.
It's 3rd and very short, so it wouldn't be surprising if the Spartans do run it up the middle, and they are loading up the right side of this line of scrimmage right now. And they're going to run to that right side of the line of scrimmage, and they will get the first down and a little bit more right there.
Looks like Fox might have tripped on one of his own players there just based on how he reacted. He got up really quickly and then almost looked like he wanted to run again, but obviously you can't do that here. And again, Kale Swagger in the slot position with Fox in the backfield. Look for Swagger to come across the motion again. That's what it's been most of the time with Fox in the backfield and Swagger in that slot position.
Slavin looking to pass this time, throws it over the middle to Swagger, and that one was a little high and incomplete.
And looking Swagger's way, it looked like just a quick slant there. A little bit of an errant throw by Slavin. They just got to get that connection down. Another one of those new connections for the Spartans. They're just trying to find their rhythm, find the way that all these new players fit together. Only 3 returning starters.
On that first Spartan possession, it definitely looked like they had a lot of rhythm going, but on the last 2 now, that momentum slowed down a little. As Swagger comes in motion again, this time the handoff is to Fox. He breaks up, gets a little bit of room, and he's going all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Spartans. Brett Fox takes it 60 yards to the house.
And that is why Brett Fox is the most important player on this offense. He is so elusive. He can do it all, just taking it right up the middle. He's so decisive when he's running as well. You never know where he's going to go, but he does, and that's why he's going to outrun everyone.
A 15-0 lead for the Homestead Spartans with 3 seconds left in this first quarter.
And right after that, he gets to go hold the kick. So, you never know. Maybe the Spartans sometime this year bring out a trick play.
But not this time, as Nico Stravez puts it right through and gets the 16-0 lead. And we will be right back after this short break with more Homestead football.
What limits you? Rethink your limits.
And welcome back to Homestead versus Northrop, as the Spartans currently lead 16-0 after a Brett Fox 60-yard touchdown. And now on the kickoff, the Spartans send it deep, and this time it's Schmenk once again returning it, and he's down at about the 14-yard line. Once again, a kickoff with not much great return.
Again, he is struggling to make a decision there. Just doesn't really know what to do.
Make that the 14-yard line. First down and 10 coming up for Northrop.
And now the Bruins going to have tough field position once again, and we're going to be sending it down to our sideline reporter, Anthony Gery.
Well, Noah, as you can see, the student section behind me is at full capacity for today's game. That first quarter was electric for Homestead, already leading 16-0 at the end of only 12 minutes. And it's thanks to these guys. They are going crazy and showing up for this first game of the 2022 season.
All right, thank you, Anthony. And yeah, the student section definitely showing out here tonight.
Yeah, Spartan faithful all here. You can see Spartan versus everybody there spelled out on a few of the people in the crowd, that front row, those seniors. They're going to try to motivate this team as much as they can. I'd say they're doing a pretty good job, and so far the players are giving them a pretty good show.
Yeah, it's been pretty good, and it was really electric on that last play from scrimmage that we saw, that 60-yard touchdown run from Brett Fox.
Fox had everybody going crazy. I think we're going to see him do that a few times this year. Now we'll see if the defensive side can get the fans going crazy, as again, the Bruins have very bad starting field position at their own 14 now.
Once again, it's going to be a long drive for the Bruins. A long, difficult drive. Let's see what they can do this time. Bates drops back, hands it off up the gut, and it gains about a yard there. Actually loses about a yard there for the Bruins.
And they've really got to come up with something else for the runs. They've only run the ball 3 times, just other than the possession where they were stuck basically at their own goal line. They've tried running up the middle, has not been successful. You got to get it outside, probably to the right side, where you're not facing Jackson Chrisman and Orlando Sheets.
Bates drops back to pass this time, throws it over to the right side to Schmenk, and then brought down right out of bounds. Actually, that's incomplete, and it's going to be 3rd down and 12 for the Bruins.
Kozad doing a great job there, getting the Schmink right away and disrupting that pass right as Schmink touched it. It seemed like he was there. It's exactly what the Spartans are going to need. They struggled a little bit with their corners a year ago. Kozad now stepping in, switching from receiver, doing a great job so far in this one.
The Bruins, a team that converted about 1 out of every 3 third down conversion attempts last season. Trying to get a big one here as they're currently down 2 possessions. And once again, it's going to be a delay of game on the Bruins, and they're going to be driven back even farther.
This might be just new coach. We talked about it earlier, the first game for Bowen as a head coach. Some communication errors so far. You see Bates go over closer to Bowen on that side when they're trying to call out the play. If you can see him over there now around the 7-yard line away from everybody else, then he gets back. Now there's 25 seconds there, but they're on their own 7. They've got to figure out a way to play a little bit faster.
Yeah, they have to avoid those delay of game penalties when they're already in such bad field position. Now Bates rolling out to the left side, throws a deep ball. It's picked up by Isaiah Elward, and he brings it down to the 5-yard line. A risky pass gets picked off.
And with Bates there, you couldn't really do much. He looks like he's shaken up now, getting up very slowly. It may just because he threw that pick and made a very bad decision, but great play by Elwood to just have that good recognition of what was going around him, making that interception. Almost took it to the house, but setting up the Spartans with great field position now. Bates, really tough position there. You don't want to throw it up like he did, but also you don't want to throw a safety, so you're kind of stuck in no man's land.
Now the Spartans going to be looking to capitalize off of that interception and possibly take a 3-possession lead here as they start off within their own red zone. Slavin fakes a handoff, rolling out to the right side, gets it over to John DeLay, and he's stuffed short of the goal line, a couple of yards shy still.
And DeLay didn't have much action a year ago, but now he's been used in that tight end fullback area so far this game. Could be more of a role this year, especially coming from last year, a lot of players leaving.
DeLay, a guy who's playing both ways this season, has been shown on the defensive line and as a tight end / H-back kind of player for the Spartans. As Slavin's in shotgun, hands it off to Fox, and he runs that one into the end zone. Second touchdown of the night for Brett Fox, and all 3 of the touchdowns for the Spartans have been from the run game.
And so far, Slavin hasn't had to do much. He's just been making the right read and giving the ball up there again into the end zone for Brett Fox, the 2nd time of the season already. For him a year ago, he had 6 on the ground. I think he's going to break that this year.
Now a 22-0 lead for the Spartans. Looking to make it 23 is Nico Stavrets. And he is able to. 23-0 for the Spartans, and we will be coming right back after these short messages.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco specializes in pizza, subs, and more. Order online at marcos.com or by phone at 625-6800. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Welcome back to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium as the Homestead Spartans lead 23-0 over the Bruins early on in this second quarter.
Bruins have to get some offense going on this possession. It's getting ugly quickly in this one. May see the mercy rule come into effect for the second half, as there's still just under 11 minutes left in the second quarter.
The Spartans send this one away deep inside the 10, and once again, Schmenk going to return it for the Bruins. This time past the 20, and then brought down at about the 25-yard line. The best field position the Bruins have seen so far.
And I mean, that's not saying much, just where they've started so far this game, inside their 20 every time, except for this possession here. We'll see if that helps them out, get something to go on the offensive side. I don't really know what you go to here. Maybe try to get a few outside runs, start with that, because running up the middle has not worked. And then quick passes when they've thrown it down the field, or at least tried to go down the field, has not ended up well at all.
Yeah, Keon Bates, when he's been backed up, just hasn't looked comfortable. But maybe with this upgraded field position they have right now, with a little bit of breathing room, he can get comfortable and throw some nice passes.
Yeah, I mean, this is his first game as a starter here. So definitely going to be uncomfortable to start, just getting eased back in. It's been so long since football a year ago, and he didn't even play too much last year. This time getting it out a lot quicker. As you see, that's a way more effective so far.
As the ball gets hit out, but he was down before that. That was Matt Morgan on the reception. And they are going to be giving the Bruins the first down. Moving the chains there, and let's see if the Bruins offense can get something flowing on this possession.
The Bruins just have to get it in the hands of their playmakers right there, getting it out quick. Just run those little 5-7 yard slant and post routes, especially if the Spartan defenders are going to be backing off. Now they're going to get closer, though.
Bates hands it off to Barksdale once again, and Chrisman in the backfield for the Spartans. What a play by Jackson Chrisman, an all-SAC first-team member last year, lighting up that run play.
Jackson Chrisman is so dominant. You cannot stop him no matter what. He's going to get his. Another tackle for loss. A year ago, he had 8 tackles for a loss, getting 1 there. They cannot run up the middle with how good this line is of the Spartans.
And now Bates is going to throw it over to the left side, and it's a caught pass by Matt Morgan. And that still doesn't get them back to their original spot on first down. So it's going to be a long 3rd down and 12 for the Bruins.
And that just shows you how big of a player Chrisman is. Going back 6 yards on a run is almost unheard of, just like right away handing the ball off and getting taken down. But Morgan now being targeted more and more. On the play before, he'd done a good job of shielding off Elward. That time unable to come down with it, though.
Yeah, it looked like he had a shot at that one jumping up, but just out of bounds and tipped away. So now it's going to bring up another 4th down punt situation for the Bruins and Jacob Gump.
And again, Bates, seems like when they've got these 3rd and deep plays, they're just chucking it up, hoping for the best. They're not really able to do much and not able to get any offense going. It's really risky throwing it up. There were 3 players around Morgan on that one. Multiple times we've seen Bates throw it into 2 or 3 guys on coverage. They've got to be careful. This one is already getting away.
And here comes the punt from Gump, which is another high arcing one, bouncing inside the 30 and then going out of bounds. A nice punt there from Jacob Gump, whose average was 37 yards last season.
So far, he's been getting a lot of nice bounces in this one. Spartans got lucky that first bounce went out of bounds. If it was just a few yards inside, could have been another really good punt, switching the field.
Now the Spartans offense looking for another touchdown. 3 rushing touchdowns already so far in this game, and we're just 6 minutes into the second quarter.
I think at some point we're going to see Slavin get his, especially with how this game is going. Bruins may focus more on the run, get a little aggressive, and be too aggressive. So far, we've seen opportunities for the Spartans. Fox was open one time for the first touchdown drive. Another time, Leaper was.
And now Oxier's wide open, and he catches it. He's down to the 20-10. Touchdown, Homestead. A 75-yard touchdown connection between Peyton Slavin and Mason Oxier. What a show the Spartans offense is putting on tonight.
And Peyton Slavin is going to get his right there. What a great throw and catch right on rhythm with his wide receiver, Oxier. That was just a great play all around. Oxier creating that separation, and then Slavin just perfectly dropping that ball into the hands, and shows you why he is the starter for this team.
Now Nico Staves out there to kick this extra point to try to make it a 30-0 game for the Spartans. And it's up and it's good. Once again, the Spartans take a 30-point lead, and we're going to be going to break, but we'll be back with more Spartan football.
I can't wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
And welcome back. The Homestead Spartans have a 30-0 lead. Their offense has been explosive. 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 from Brett Fox, 1 from Jake Thrash, and we just witnessed a 75-yard passing touchdown, Slavin to Oxier.
We've seen a 60-yard rushing touchdown, a 75-yard passing touchdown. I think that more than enough covers more than what Northrop has done on the offensive side. They've struggled. This Homestead defense has been swarming them up, unable to get anything going. And that's why you see a 30-0 lead with 9 minutes still left in the second.
And off and away the kickoff goes. It dies at about the 5-yard line, goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a flag on the Spartans. Can't kick it out of bounds.
Once again, Northrop going to be improving on their field position, unable to do anything with it last time. But here, they've got to think that they'll be able to get something going, maybe even get into field goal range, try to get some points there.
That's going to be huge. Right now, the Bruins in desperate need of a momentum shifter, down 30-0. Getting close to the mercy rule being put in effect here with the Spartans' dominance.
Bates has really just not looked comfortable at all there in the backfield. He's going to look. I think they just need to look for these quick passes. That's what they were effective on. Morgan got 2 of them on the last drive. They're trying to run it up the middle, but overall their gain has been close to none. They just haven't been able to get anything to go. Chrisman getting in the backfield for a 6-yard loss, and then on the defensive possession where Spartans forced an interception, started with a 1-yard loss for the Bruins. Running up the middle again. If you're going to run, get it outside, but Morgan, get the ball in his hands. He's been the most effective player so far for the Bruins.
And how about the Spartans' stout defensive line? Normally they only got 3 defensive linemen in there, but they've been running 4 out there for most of this ball game.
And I mean, you expect him to be so good. Maybe it's that fourth lineman coming up and being solid. It's Preston Hott, who's been that 4th one in there, stepping up and making plays, helping out that line. A line that was so strong a year ago, and maybe they're even stronger this year.
And that was a nice job on that play. Bates being able to escape the pressure and gain a couple yards for the Bruins, make it a 3rd and manageable.
And that was probably the best decision so far that Bates has made, just running it up the middle there himself rather than having a run play being given to the running back. It was Bates the one making the play, something catching the defense off guard a little bit.
And this time they're going to hand it off to Barksdale Wilson, who gets some speed up past the first down markers and gets a first down for the Bruins. Move the chains.
Bruins finally getting some offensive life right now. It's exactly what they need at this point in the game. If they could get something going, maybe turn this around.
Now Bates dropping back, looking to pass. He's pressured by Orlando Sheets. He's forced to run, and he does for a couple of yards there. Nice job escaping the pressure once again.
Again, some confusion there for the Bruins. Jordan Sell was just kind of looking around there as Bates was scrambling instead of picking up a block. Didn't seem like he knew what was going on. Some more miscommunication that just maybe problem with a first-year head coach.
Now Bates hands it off to Barksdale Wilson, who drags a couple Spartans defenders for a couple of yards and gets it to a 3rd and manageable once again. Bruins slowly moving on offense right now.
This is a very important play in this game. And even if they don't pick it up here, if they're still 4th and 5, anything closer than that, you've got to think that they're going to go for it. Already down 30 in this one. Spartans looking to make a statement, try to shut them out as long as they can, but very big play.
Now Bates looking for a deep shot down over there, and it is picked off this time by Isaiah Elward, number 2 of the game. Isaiah Elward out there playing great.
What a great play by Isaiah Elwood, going up and snagging that over Morgan. Elward is making his impact in this one.
And Elward used to play for Northrop, and right now he's playing a great game against the Bruins. And we're gonna be taking a quick break as an injury timeout is going on the field.
You don't plan on getting an injury, so why should you plan ahead to care for one? At OrthoStat, you don't have to. Whether you get hurt on the job or on the field, or if you're experiencing sudden, localized pain.
Oh, baby, that looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Southwest Allen County Schools is our home. Home to dedicated staff, passionate teachers, and a generous community that values and supports education. We believe our culture of learning embraces change, flexibility, and innovation. We believe our schools serve as the hub of our diverse community. We value hard work, attention to craft, and tenacity. We ask questions, share ideas, and work together to find new ways to do new things, great things, for our students, for our district, and for our community. In partnership with parents, we believe learning encompasses critical thinking, creative thinking, collaboration, communication, citizenship, and resiliency. We take pride in our successes and share in our accomplishments. We are Southwest Allen County Schools, preparing today's learners for tomorrow's opportunities.
And welcome back to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium as Matt Morgan was able to walk off of the field and the Spartans now take possession after the interception by Isaiah Elward.
Never want to see a player get hurt. It's obviously good to see him walk off on his own power. And now Spartans getting back to their side, trying to just keep on doing what they've been doing, going straight down the Bruins defense and driving all over them.
Now is Jake Thrash on that first down carry for the Spartans. Gained about 5 yards and makes it a 2nd and 5. Slavin hands it off to Thrash once again. He's going up the gut and brought down really close to the first down marker. We'll see if the officials give it to him, and they will. Maybe. And they will officially. They are going to move the chains.
And I think Thrash is going to get a lot more looks now, especially Fox getting his touches already. Get the sophomore in there. Slavin may not even probably won't even play this whole game, especially with all these new players trying to figure out how they fit and getting them more and more reps, something that you're going to see more and more this game.
I mean, we've seen the Spartan offense explode so far in this one. We'll see if they can do it again here as Slavin's pressured and forced to throw it away. Multiple Bruin defenders were in on that pressure.
Good job there by Micah Coward as well as Hinton getting the pressure on Slavin. They're going to need to force more and more pressures. Try to force Slavin out of the pocket as much as they can because he's been sitting there all night long so far. But when he gets out of that pocket, you have to be careful. If they did what they did on that last play, not allowing him to get past the line of scrimmage, then they're going to be fine. But if Slavin gets out of the pocket, you could see him run for a big gain.
Now Fox comes in motion pre-snap, hands it off over to Thrash as he gains a couple before being brought down hard to the ground there by Rogers.
Another solid carry there by Thrash, setting up a 3rd and 5 now, 3rd and manageable. It's really what you're looking to do there on 2nd and long, just make 3rd down much more manageable, and that's exactly what they were able to do. Now it really just opens up your whole playbook. You could honestly go with another run play with how the Spartans have been running it so far, maybe a quick screen or go for a deep ball.
Slavin dropping back, looking to pass once again, throws it over the middle, and it's dropped by Fox and then picked off. We don't know if this one hit the ground, and the Bruins keep on running it, but the whistles blow, and they're going to say that ball hit the ground. Incomplete. Almost looked like the Bruins had a free walk to the end zone for a pick 6, but they're going to rule an incomplete pass.
And the Northrop player cannot believe it at all. You just see him standing there around the 20-yard line. I don't think he agreed with that call. There is a lot of confusion for just everyone around there. He's still standing at the 20-yard line.
He still has not moved. Just shocked as that was taken away from him. That's Josh Taylor over there. And he just has not moved right now. Just so frustrated after being so close to making a huge play. And now he's going back to the sideline for the Bruins. But man, down 30-0, that really could have been a momentum swinger.
And it was Josh Taylor. He was standing there for a good 2 minutes probably. And then there's still some confusion going on overall. Don't know what we're waiting for. They called it an incomplete pass. They all blew their whistles. Just a lot of confusion all around.
And there's no instant replay in high school football either, so an incomplete pass is an incomplete pass. And now looks to be some confusion going on as Zulman looks very frustrated. Coach Zulman for the Spartans. And it looks like they might be giving the interception to the Bruins. And they will. There is a lot of confusion going on right now as the Spartans offense is still on the field. And now they got to switch it out. Wow, they changed the ruling on the field and give it to the Bruins.
That was just a crazy scenario there. I don't even know what just went on, to be honest. They were, I'm at a loss of words, to be honest. If you're going to call an interception, then why ever blow the whistle? I guess they're saying they called an interception after, then they blew the whistle, so Spartans players didn't want to, they just thought it was a dead ball. I don't know.
I think maybe Josh Taylor, when he caught the interception, was on the ground. I think that's the most likely. They blew it dead. If he had a knee or elbow touching the ground.
Hard to explain.
But now let's focus on the Northrop offense as Bates hands it off to Barksdale Wilson to start it off, and he gets an open hole and across the first down marker. The Bruins flipping momentum right now late in this first half, down 30-0.
And I've been trying to tell Coach Bowen to run it outside. He finally does. And they get a very good play run on that gain of about 15 yards. Just going outside. They need to keep on doing that. Catching the Spartans off guard right now. I think the momentum, I don't know if I say it's shifting, but I think some is picking up. Obviously, it's still a 30-point game, but Bruins looking a little more confident now.
The Bruins looking for some points here in nice field position. Hand it off up the gut this time and gain a couple. Once again, Barksdale Wilson on the carry. Just 5 yards shy of the first down now.
4 or 5 on that play.
If you see there, closest to you, number 5, Matt Morgan. He's already back. He's back in now after being injured on the previous possession. That's good to see him back in the game.
And now once again, a carry up the gut for the Bruins. And they make it a 3rd and very manageable, trying to keep this possession going.
On a 3-yard pickup, 34.
And I don't know if you can tell from the angle, but over on the right side of the line, on those last 2 plays were the quick guard and tackle for the Bruins. That's the way they were running the ball. Now they've moved over to the left side, so potentially going to switch over there. They've got strong tackle and guard and a quick tackle and guard. So far, they've gone to the quick side.
Now Bates rolls out to the left side, throws it deep to the end zone, a jump ball, and it's caught. Touchdown, Jaden Schmink of the Bruins.
What a catch by Jaden Schmink. Again, Bates just kind of throwing it up there, but Schmink is going to go make that play. Bates trusts his guy. The Bruins finally getting on the board here.
And once the Bruins finally get themselves some nice field position, what do? They go find the end zone.
It's exactly what they needed. A little bit momentum shifting now. 3 minutes left in the second quarter. But Spartans, with those 3 minutes, they're going to look to drive. The Bruins really going to need a stop.
Now Jacob Gump to kick, and it goes in. It's good for the Bruins, and it's a 30-7 Homestead lead in this second quarter, and we'll be right back with more Spartan football.
This is the Spartan Online School. Complete coursework anytime, anywhere, meeting work or family obligations. Access many digital activities, lectures, and help from teachers over Zoom. Tasks are fully self-paced, receive assignments on Monday and turn them in by Friday. The Spartan Online School is tuition-free and students can graduate with a Core 40 or Academic Honors Diploma, preparing today's learners for tomorrow's opportunities.
And welcome back once again to Homestead versus Northrop as Homestead leads 30-7 with 3 minutes left in this second quarter.
Bruins going to need to force either a turnover or get a big stop here. 3 minutes for the Spartans to go down the field. They don't have to necessarily go no-huddle offense. A lot of times you may see them run up to the line really quick and then try to draw someone offsides. You see them go up and almost fake snap it in a way. Act like they're going to go earlier than they do. You may see that a lot of times this possession. You just expect on the defensive side for them to go no huddle with little time.
As Gump sends this one away, and it's picked up at about the 20-yard line. As they run out of bounds, and it's going to be Spartans ball.
And that was Cale Swagger there showing his inexperience. He should have just let that go out of bounds, and it would have been better field position for the Spartans. It bounced right next to the out-of-bounds line, and he picked it up instead of letting it just go. A little bit of the inexperience being shown by the sophomore. He'll learn how to fix that, but could be a problem in games that are much closer.
Once again, like you were saying, the Spartans with the fake snap and look to the sideline. They're going to be taking it slow on this possession with a nice lead.
So far this game, you got to think Grant Leeper draws a lot of eyes, but he's been more of a decoy, it seems like, not having the ball go to him too much. That time, couldn't really tell who is being targeted. It was either Zulman or Leeper, but it's been Thrash, Oxier, and then Brett Fox have been the main focal points so far of this offense. Leeper's been more of a decoy. I mean, he stands out. He would be good to use as a decoy, but Spartans offense has had no problem.
Yeah, they really have not had a problem so far this game, putting up 30 points already. First half still not over. As Slavin rolls out to the right side, he's pressured by Henson and throws it straight to a Northrop defender. Picked off by Aaron Robinson, and the Bruins are starting to work their way back into this one.
And just in 9 seconds, the Bruins get the ball back now at the 22-yard line. Right there, Peyton Slavin making a very bad throw. Kind of stuck. He threw it in between two players. He had Fox open. Either underthrew him or overthrew the undercut route there. And just ended up right in the hands of Aaron Robinson there.
But how much credit do you got to give to Jelante Henson, who forced the pressure on Slavin and ran him outside of the pocket?
And that's exactly why you got to get Slavin outside of the pocket. As long as you allow him, as long as you force him to throw it outside of the pocket where he's uncomfortable, you're going to have more success stopping the Spartans.
Now Bates hands it off to Barksdale Wilson once again, and this time he's brought down after a couple-yard gain.
Well, the defense just did their job there, getting the big stop. Now the offense has to do theirs, try to get this within a 2-touchdown game.
Now the Bruins going to be looking for a nice play here. They want to avoid a 3rd and long. Those have been very difficult for them to try and convert so far this game.
You might just see another run to make it more manageable. Also keep that clock going and expect them to take as much off as they can.
Now Bates with some pressure, looking to scramble himself. He gains a couple of yards, drags a couple of Spartan defenders, and is brought down still short of the 20-yard line. Really just getting back to where they were on first down, looking like it's going to be 3rd and 10.
I think the idea was to try to make it a little more manageable, as it looks like Bates is limping now. Just walking back over, taking a few hits, especially on those QB sneaks as he did there. But just trying to make it more manageable, run down as much clock as possible. They could snap it around 1:30 here in field goal range, get 3 points, and then send it down to the Spartans with very little time.
We've seen Bates put up a lot of 50-50 balls in this game. Wouldn't be surprised if he throws up another here. As he rolls out to the right side, moving on his feet, gets set, throws it, and that one looks like it's complete, but short of the first down. Matt Morgan, or actually Jaden Schmenk on the reception. But it's still short of the first down, as it's going to be 4th and 4. And the Spartans are going to be, or the Bruins are going to be looking for a field goal here as they send Jacob Gump, the kicker, out on the field.
Gump was here a year ago for the Bruins, an experienced, solid kicker, looking to make this a 3-touchdown game here.
And that's a low kick, but it goes out to the left, and it's no good. The Spartans have a 30-7 lead, and we'll be right back after this short break.
This is the Spartan Online School. Complete coursework anytime, anywhere, meeting work or family obligations. Access many digital activities, lectures, and help from teachers over Zoom. Tasks are fully self-paced, receive assignments on Monday, and turn them in by Friday. The Spartan Online School is tuition-free, and students can graduate with a Core 40 or Academic Honors Diploma, preparing today's learners for tomorrow's opportunities.
And welcome back to Dave S. Walter Memorial Stadium as the Spartans have a 30-7 lead, as it looks like they'll take a knee and head into the locker room.
No reason not to. Just let the clock go out here. Everyone heads to halftime. Get to regroup as the clock would now be off. Doesn't look like Northrop's going to call either of their 2 timeouts. And Spartans head into the locker room with a 23-point lead.
The Spartans going to be looking, or the Bruins going to be looking for a huge second half, trying to get back into this one after the Spartans just exploded on offense throughout that first half. And now we're going to be sending it down to Anthony Gery on the sideline with Coach Chad Zulman.
Coach, amazing first half, and besides that short field touchdown allowed by your defense, they have been playing lights out. What do you have to say about the performance so far and heading forward?
They've been good. We got give them a little momentum, and then that's what's going to happen. Be about it.
Coach, good luck. Noah, back to you.
Thank you, Anthony. And what a first half performance it was by the Homestead Spartans. And now we will be taking a quick break as the Homestead leads 30-7 at the half.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome to the OPS Halftime Report. I'm Anthony Gery, joined alongside Noah Lancz. And Noah, how about that first half? Homestead really dominated in the first quarter and all the way up until late in the second. They just played really well.
Yeah, other than those last 2 possessions for the Spartans, they were so dominant. You see, they had 126 yards on the ground, 162 in the air, 266 total, just to 74 for the Bruins. Just complete domination, really. And it was almost on both ends of the ball as well. They got out to a 30-0 lead. Northrop trying to claw their way back into this one, but really just been unable to.
And those 2 interceptions by Isaiah Elwood were really key for Homestead getting the ball, especially the short side touchdown that they were able to get. Because of that first interception and that second one just electrified the crowd, kind of almost sealed the fate for Northrop in this game. But as you see, Northrop, they're sort of starting to claw their way back.
Yeah, both QBs need to be a lot more careful in this one. Slavin just kind of throwing it away on that second one, but the second pick, or excuse me, the first pick for Bates was even worse than that. He was just throwing it up. We've seen him throw it up a lot and just trying to trust his receivers, but so far it has not been working too well. Turnovers could be a big factor in this one. So far, Spartans have been able to score 7 points off those turnovers, and the Bruins have been able to score 7 points off those turnovers.
And those turnovers really, they've been so important for Homestead. We're going to see what comes in the second half, but right now Homestead obviously just completely dominating the stats.
Yes, they have been. They've got, honestly, haven't been doing too bad for the Bruins in the first downs category. They've had more than Spartans, 10-9, Bruins leading, but it's just those big plays where the Spartans have been converting for touchdowns.
Now we're going to take a look at the scores around the SAC. And as you can see, Carroll Lures still tied at the end of the first quarter. Homestead, all of the scores, sorry, we don't have them updated right now, but we're going to work our way to try to get those updated right now.
But here at this one, Slavin, will see how he does in the second quarter. It was in the second half, excuse me. Definitely struggling coming down the stretch. He had that one bomb to Oxier, 75-yarder. That was just huge. But ever since then, kind of falling out of rhythm, the whole Spartan offense, they set it up through that run game. I think they've got to get back to that run game in the second half.
And that run game was so important for Homestead in the first half. Now that we have our updated scores, Carroll leads Lures in the second quarter, 14-3. Not much of a surprise there. Concordia 19-0 over Southside. Those two teams expected to be bottom feeders in the SAC this year. Concordia just completely dominating Southside. Snyder over Northside, that's going to be our game to watch. Snyder leads Northside 7-0, and then Dwenger dominating Wayne as of right now.
And you know, Jimmy Sullivan over at Carroll now getting his first start, getting up 14-3. But then really shocking to see Concordia dominating that one so far just in the first quarter there, 19-0. As you mentioned, Snyder, Northside, we'd expect that to be one of the closer ones. Snyder obviously not going to be as good as they were a year ago. They were really solid. Then Northside, they've got Tay Johnson, the best receiver all around here, maybe even in Indiana itself. And then Dwenger, what you'd expect, getting out to that early lead against Wayne. Dwenger's always been one of the top 5 teams, Wayne one of the bottom 5.
Northside and Snyder, that's the blockbuster game that we're going to have to follow. Both predicted to finish top 3 in the SAC this year. Like you mentioned, Bronte Johnson for Northside is, as of right now, ranked the highest, the best wide receiver in all of Indiana right now, out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's really special to have a player like that. I know last year, watching him against Homestead, made some ridiculous catches. He truly is the real deal.
He is. He's so special to watch. Like, anytime you see him on the field, you've got to be looking for number 3 there. He's just so good. Anytime he has the ball in his hands, he's going to do something crazy. Throw it up to him. He's going to bring it down. No matter what, you've got to watch out for Bronte Johnson. He's electric.
Now we're going to take a look at some of the news from around the area that happened over the summer. And, of course, the first one, the major headline, Jimmy Sullivan transferred to Carroll out of Homestead High School. That one took a lot of people around the area by a huge surprise. He was supposed to be the guy that filled in after Peyton Slavin graduated this year. He was going to be Homestead's it factor for the next 2 years, and now he's at the rival Carroll Chargers.
Yeah, I'd say it's the biggest news around the SAC of the offseason. Just Sullivan leading that team so far to a 14-3 lead over Lures. We'll see how he fits in. He's only a sophomore. He's very good build. You've got to watch out for him the next 2 years after this one. Even this one, he could do something special.
And you have to understand there might be some challenges with Jimmy Sullivan. Of course, like you said, a sophomore quarterback taking over a team with only 3 weeks to go before the regular season even starts. Of course, it's going to be a challenge, but as of right now, it looks like that offense is doing all right.
Yeah, it has, as well as that defense doing pretty well. Just right now, Jimmy Sullivan trying to lead his new team, get those new connections going.
And now the second piece of news, Mylan Graham, the second best wide receiver in the area, 4-star recruit out of the New Haven Bulldogs, has been getting multiple high D1 offers. We're talking Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, all of those offers for a 4-star out of New Haven High School. It's amazing.
And he's the second best wide receiver in the area behind Bronte Johnson. Just Graham has been so good, just like Johnson at New Haven, though, a team that has really been struggling lately. But as you see, drawing all this national attention, it's really crazy to see these players from the local area get these national offers.
And it's amazing to think that these two are the two highest rated wide receivers in the entire state of Indiana, and they're coming out of, they're both sophomores, or they're both juniors, sorry, out of Fort Wayne. They kind of appeared on the scene. Of course, Bronte Johnson's been getting this attention for a long time, but Mylan Graham just kind of seemed to rise from the ashes over the summer, went crazy down at his Alabama camp, and of course now has an offer from them.
Yeah, and that's all it takes, really, just get some recognition. Once one offer comes in from a Power 5 team, they're all going to come flooding in, especially those big teams. As you said, getting that recognition at that camp is all he needed, and we'll see what he does this season.
And speaking of big offers, let's talk about Addie Tyndall, who was just ranked 11th in the nation for her class in volleyball. The Homestead Spartan, only a sophomore, but has already led this team to a 3-0 start. She is an electric player.
Yeah, just like those football players we mentioned, this volleyball player is probably going to be able to go wherever she wants. She is so good, just a dominant force on the court. It's so hard to stop her, especially her spike is so powerful, and she towers over everybody else.
I'll tell you what, no, I got to see her play in person the other day, and I don't think I've ever seen a more dominant high school athlete. I know we've gotten to see amazing grades like Ayanna Patterson, Ashland Shade, but this Addie Tyndall, as only a sophomore, is just something else.
Yeah, it's really just crazy. As we were saying earlier, like, even just Indiana itself, crazy how much talent, national talent we've seen ourselves. We've got another great talent here at Homestead High School.
And now we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Noah and Noah Johanningsmeier are going to be joining you guys in the booth.
What limits you? Too small, rethink your limits.
Marco's Pizza, located at 10345 Illinois Road, inside the shops of Scott Road. Marco specializes in pizza, subs, and more. Order online at marcos.com or by phone at 625-6800. Thank you, Marcos, for supporting the Point 91 FM and being a proud sponsor of Homestead Media's athletics coverage.
Here at Homestead High School Media, we're taking steps to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. That includes limiting the number of workers in the TV studio and wearing masks when not on camera. We also socially distance our anchors each week at the news desk. In the studios, we limit the number of people allowed in at a time, and even our mics wear masks. Thank you for doing your part in helping fight COVID-19.
Southwest Allen County Schools is our home. Home to dedicated staff, passionate teachers, and a generous community that values and supports education. We believe our culture of learning embraces change, flexibility, and innovation. We believe our schools serve as the hub of our diverse community. We value hard work, attention to craft, and tenacity. We ask questions, share ideas, and work together to find new ways to do new things, great things, for our students, for our district, and for our community. In partnership with parents, we believe learning encompasses critical thinking, creative thinking, collaboration, communication, citizenship, and resiliency. We take pride in our successes and share in our accomplishments. We are Southwest Allen County Schools, preparing today's learners for tomorrow's opportunities.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits. What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
And welcome back to Dave S. Walters Memorial Stadium as Homestead leads Northrop 30-7 at the half. Homestead will be kicking off to start off this second half.
And at that end of the first half, there's very much a momentum shift there. The Bruins getting 2 picks, giving them very good field position both times. They were able to capitalize on the first one, get their first points of the game, narrow the margin to 23. Spartans went on a 30-0 run just to start this game. But the Bruins have the momentum, getting the ball back. They're going to look to do something here, cut into this lead even more, maybe make a comeback.
They're going to be looking for a huge second half. They had some nice field position on the last 2 possessions of the first half, and on one of those they were able to capitalize, but not on the second, as it's currently a 30-7 Homestead lead, and the second half is off. The kick bounces inside the 10. Schmenk picks it up. He's going to be looking to return it, and he's brought down at about the 15. Once again, not the best field position to start off for the Bruins.
Really struggling making a decision there. I mean, it's a really rough area whether or not you try to let the ball go out of bounds. Obviously, if you get a bad bounce, you're going to be screwed, kind of how Schmenk was on that first return. That's what ended up being a safety. So for the rest of this game, probably going to take it anytime he can. Just got to be a little better with the decision making. But he was the one that caught the touchdown for the Bruins. So now we'll see if he can get the ball on the offensive side and get into more of a rhythm overall.
Yeah, the one score for the Bruins was a touchdown pass, a connection between Bates and Schmenk. As Bates hands it off to Barksdale Wilson, and that's a tackle for loss from Jackson Crispin in the backfield once again.
His second tackle for loss in this one. The first one was for a 6-yard loss, this one for a 4-yard loss. Picking up right where he left off a season ago. Crispin is just too dominant for any lineman to stop.
You can see why he was first team All-SAC last season. He is quick to get in the opponent's backfield. Bates drops back, throws it over the middle, and it's incomplete. That was a pass intended for Schmenk as a flag gets thrown in the air. Schmenk thought it was a pass interference. We'll see what the official says on this one.
I think that's likely going to be the call, or holding. Sam Stewart there getting way too aggressive, kind of jumping on top of Schmenk as he's walking off the field now. Looks like he's holding that right arm maybe, but that's going to be a big loss for the Bruins. Now both wide receivers have been hurt at least once, and it is going to end up being a pass interference on Sam Stewart there. So a little bit of life now for the Bruins. They get new set and back to first down.
It's going to be first down now for the Bruins. After that pass interference, trying to get some new life injected into them in this second half.
And they get
very close to a first down.
Looks like it's going to be okay. Well, now they're going to give them a first down. Took a little bit, but spot foul, and then they added 10 yards, so that's how you get to 14 there.
And on that play, it's a sack for the Homestead Spartans, Sam Stewart. Sorry, not a sack on that one, a tackle for loss on the run play by Barksdale Wilson.
But either way, it ends up in a big loss for the Bruins. And again, they've been trying to run it on these first down plays, and it seems like every time they just keep on losing yards. This is going to be their third time where they're 2nd and 14 or longer going into the possession, backed up inside their own 20-yard line. They've just got to figure out a new way to go about this one.
And a timeout called for the Bruins here, as they're struggling to get the offense going, and we'll be taking a quick break. After these short messages, we'll be back.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead Spartan football, as currently the Spartans lead the Bruins 30-7.
Bruins got a first down just off of 10-yard pass interference, but ever since then, they've really been stalled. First, lost 6 yards, and now they're Bates was trying to roll out to left, but still unable to get anything. It's going to be a 3rd and long once again.
It's just been very difficult for the Bruins to get it going on offense all night long. And these plays where they get stuffed behind the line of scrimmage are not making it any easier.
It's not helping them at all, like you mentioned. You just cannot get behind the chains so much where you're putting yourself in where Bates loves to throw it up, apparently, on these 3rd and longs. You just cannot get yourself into those positions, and just trying to trust your receivers to come down with the ball has not been an effective way. And then once again, they're just struggling, putting themselves in even worse positions. Another delay of game. Their clock management has been awful this game.
That's going to put them all the way back at 3rd and 21. What a difficult situation the Bruins are putting themselves into right now.
Some of it is obviously just the Spartans having a solid defense, but a lot of it has also been self-inflicted penalties, just like those delay of games. They're 3rd of the game already.
Bates drops back, and here comes another deep ball. This time it ends up in the hands of Davion Woods, originally through Matt Morgan, and it's a caught pass. Wow.
You know, I don't think that's how Coach Bowen drew that play up. If it is, that'd be a special play, but either way, it's going to work out pretty well, going from the 16-yard line to the 50-yard line, a 34-yard gain for the Bruins, and that's just a huge play, to be honest. They're halfway down the field already. Otherwise, Spartans would have been coming back probably with the ball around a similar area.
Let's see what the Bruins do following that huge gain, as Bates drops back once again, throwing over to the right side, that time incomplete. The intended target on that one was Matt Morgan once again.
And something you got to think that the Spartans coaches have picked up on, if not the players, in this one, is every time the quick guard is on the right side, they've been going to the right side. That's where the focus of the play has been. If they go to the left side, that's where those quick guard and tackles are. Wherever number 70 and 77 for the Bruins is where they've been going mostly.
Now on 2nd and 10, Bruins looking for some momentum, as it's a fake handoff. Bates still has it. He's breaking off some tackles, gains a couple of yards. Crispin was in that backfield, but just didn't know who had the ball.
Yeah, a few crazy plays here for the Bruins just on this drive, but regardless, Bates doing a great job with what was handed to him there. Just even to get 4 yards there rather than a 5-yard loss is huge. Switches a 3rd and long to 3rd and manageable.
And that's really been the key part of this game for the Bruins. When they're able to get those third downs to short distances, they're able to convert. But when they're long, they really have struggled, and that's when the turnovers come in.
And I think there's a good chance they try for another one of those jump balls, but I feel like they should just go for a quick pass, try to get your first down.
And they are going for the quick pass over to the left side as it's caught over there by Matt Morgan, and he gets a first down for the Bruins.
If you're the Bruins, you have to keep on doing that. Morgan, in the first half, he was their main guy other than Schmenk getting that touchdown. He's just been able to have at least that time there for the Spartans. It was number 25 there, Isaiah Elward, sagging off of him and just able to get all that open space there. They've got to keep on looking for when the defenders back off, find those short plays, get the ball in the hands of your best players.
Now Barksdale Wilson taking it to the outside before he gets pushed out of bounds. He gains a couple.
Barksdale Wilson has been much more effective ever since about 3-5 minutes left in that second quarter, where the momentum really started to shift. And some of it has been due to him able to open up the run game just a little bit. There have been a lot of big losses, though, with those runs. But if they can just get some momentum just from the run game itself, it could really open up that pass game, that play action game.
Bates looking to pass once again as he's rolling out to the right side. Pressured, throws up another 50-50 ball. This time it's tipped by Wyatt Little, and he breaks up the pass. Wyatt Little's been in on a lot of those 50-50 balls tonight.
And after that, looks like he might be hurt. He's kind of limping a little bit there. He's trying to walk it off himself. Now he's going to come off. But as you mentioned, he's been in the mix a lot of the time already in this one. You'd expect him to come down with one of them just with the amount that Bates just throws up there. And a lot of them, Bates has been scrambling. It's been somewhat effective, as in the fact that Spartans haven't really been able to get any sacks this game, but it's just a big risk to throw it up the way he does and do it so frequently.
And the Bruins out of the huddle rush to the line of scrimmage this time, but some mistakes there, as that's going to be a lot of illegal motion before the snap.
And that's going to be their fourth 5-yard penalty there on the offensive side. You go from a 3rd and 8 to a 3rd and 13, just makes it so much harder. They're just making it harder on themselves over and over again. They've got to figure out a better way to manage the time and just play their game. They can't go to the huddle so many times and stay there for so long.
And now Bates dropping back to pass, has some time, throws it deep. Schmenk is open. It's caught, and it's another touch. Nope, actually just shy at about the inch-yard line there. Schmenk with a huge reception, and the Bruins are going to be looking for the end zone.
And finally, Bates was able to just sit in the pocket there, even with the Spartan defenders coming rushing in there. He was able to sit back there rather than scramble out, chuck it up. He saw his open receiver and delivered it. If he can get more just settled, comfortable throws, he's going to be doing much better in this one.
Yeah, whenever he's been settled in the pocket, it's worked well for the Bruins. And now on this goal line scenario, they rush it straight up the middle, and it looks like it's a touchdown, and it is. The Bruins now cutting the lead down 30-13.
And all of a sudden, we've got ourselves a game. You thought when it's 30-0, Spartans were going to run away with it. But now, Northrop scored 13 straight, maybe 14 after this PAT. But Spartans have to find an answer. That was a very big drive there by the Bruins, taking up 5 minutes and 5 seconds of game time. It felt like it took forever, going back all the way to that pass interference just early on in that possession. But a great job to stay with the drive and go all the way.
And how about the all-conference defensive end, Jelante Henson, also finding the end zone on offense with that carry. And now Gump on the extra point gets it to go, and it's now just a 16-point game, and we will be taking a quick break, but we'll be back with more Spartan football.
Rethink your limits.
And welcome back to Homestead versus Northrop, as Northrop's on a bit of a run here. 30-14 with under 7 left in the third quarter. The Bruins trying to work their way back into this one.
Yeah, they keep on cutting their way into this lead. And Spartans got to be feeling a little nervous. I mean, obviously there's still a good amount of time to go. The Spartans have really been controlling most of it, but their last 2 possessions, other than the kneel, which was just one play, Slavin taking a knee at the end of that second quarter, they've had 2 turnovers, both Slavin picks. You've got to think that they are going to go back to the run game where they've been so dominant.
And Gump sends this kickoff away towards the sideline, bounces, stays in bounds, and now the Spartans are going to be back deep inside of the 10-yard line.
Both these special teams are really struggling in this one, not being able to make a decision, judge obviously whether or not you should go attack that ball or let it come to you. Oxier there, letting it come to him, not making the right decision. We've already seen him muff one kickoff earlier. They're just making sure he kept on the ball, so he dove on it a little bit. So Spartan's going to be inside the 10-yard line now.
Yeah, and that muffed kickoff from earlier might have been what kept him staying back, trying to not see that happen to him again. So now the Spartans are backed up, looking for some momentum back their way as they hand it off up the middle to start off the drive. That carry was by Brett Fox.
Right in the middle of that one there. The man that just scored the touchdown, Hinton, he was there to clean it up. But also Amarian Rogers, he was the man that delivered the first blow there on Fox, doing a great job getting it in there quick. 2nd and 8, try to force a 3rd and long here and try to get a big stop.
The Spartans spreading it out with 3 wide receivers out to the right side right now, and they're going to be calling a timeout right here as they have a 30-14 lead. They're looking for some momentum to go their way.
Yeah, definitely just little confusion, frustration building up on the Spartan sideline. Not really sure what they're doing right now. Kind of dumbfounded as the Bruins have clawed their way back into this one. Just after being down by so much, Spartans seemed like they got a little lax and didn't expect the Bruins to be able to do what they have done so far, just getting closer and closer. They need to get back in the rhythm, start with a few run plays. They just did there, the first one. They had over 125 yards on the ground in that first half. You got to continue that. Then once you set up the run, go for either option play, get it out quick to your receiver. Oxier is really good on the outside. We saw him get a 75-yard bomb earlier. Or you go play action and look for another one of those bombs.
Yeah, the Spartans really have got to get it going. We saw in the first drive of the game they were going really slow, some dink and dunks to get Slavin comfortable. And after the last 2 possessions ending in picks, maybe they look for that again this possession. As Slavin takes some pressure, throws it short over to Thrash, and then he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A huge play by the Northrop defense, and now they're looking to make a 3rd down stop.
Northrop doing exactly what they needed to do, force a 3rd and long, and getting Slavin out of the pocket. He's not been comfortable out of the pocket at all in this one. Might have been smarter just throw it away there, obviously, rather than take the loss of yardage.
So now on this third down, it's going to be a big one for the Spartans as they got to try and shut down this Northrop momentum. Slavin with a play action, now throws it short over to Thrash. Thrash gets past the first down marker and gets that first down for the Spartans. Now with some breathing room, let's see what they do here.
That was a huge play in this one. The Bruins get a stop, force a punt, expecting to get it probably inside the Spartans' 50-yard line. But Thrash just making a big play. Slavin rolling out and then able to find Thrash just sitting there waiting for him. And then Thrash doing the rest, getting the next 5 yards after catch. A great job by him.
Now Slavin dropping back to pass once again. Throws it over to Leaper on the right side. And Leaper is dragged down after a couple yards gained. About 2nd and 8.
That's his first catch of this game, 2nd target. The other one we saw him drop, he's wide open. Would have been an easy walk-in touchdown, but they're just able to get about 2 yards. It's good to see him get his first catch, though, get that out of the way. Maybe just get those nerves out of the way. So if Slavin looks for him on another deep one, he's going to be able to bring it in.
Now the Spartan's going to hand it off to Fox. He gets some open space once again. Then he's wrapped down to the ground by the Northrop Bruins. That was Joshua Taylor taking him down.
Anytime you have Fox in, your eyes have to be on him. No matter what he's doing, he's going to be a big role in the play. If he touches the ball, you got to expect him to do something very well with it. Just a great job to make the right read, go up the left side of the line there, and then find the open hole, pick up a first down.
Now on first down, it's another handoff straight up the gut again, but then he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Marcus Logan Jr. got in on that one.
That may just be Spartans running the same play over and over, running it too much. And then the Bruins just starting to pick up on the same formation, seeing what they're doing. Good job by the defense, though, to get in there.
Slavin dropping back, looking for a pass, throws it over the middle, finds Leaper again, 2nd time on this possession, and makes it a 3rd and manageable once again for the Spartans.
That's a great play by the Spartans there, just as you mentioned, making it 3rd and manageable. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 3. Good job by Grant Leaper, just running that little 6-yard hook route there, selling his defender and just cutting right back, Slavin to hitting him right in the chest. Really good play overall. Great way to get much better position for 3rd down.
And the Spartans this possession have done a great job of milking the clock, up by 2 possessions, running the clock as much as they can.
Definitely something they're going to look to do. As we saw, the Bruins had about a 5-minute drive on their touchdown drive to start this quarter. Spartans now on a 4-minute drive of their own.
Slavin's going to keep this one, and he gets past the first down marker before being forced out of bounds.
That's exactly what the inside runs do. You set up that read option, the QB read option there for Slavin. You haven't seen him do it until now, and that was a perfect time to do it. Caught the whole defense off guard, and he had the whole left side wide open. And that's why when it's a pass play, you want to force him out of the pocket, but if it's a run play and he has the ball in his hands, you better watch out.
Now it's a handoff to Fox once again as he gets out to the right side in some open space and down to about the 30-yard line. Wow, Brett Fox showing some speed.
Brett Fox going inside, going outside. He does it all. He's just always able to find that hole there. Got a 15-yard pickup there. He's just been so solid on the night.
And the Spartans have really been using him in all assets. When you have a guy with that kind of speed, put him in the backfield, put him at wide receiver, and they've been doing it.
And he's listed as a slot receiver. Jake Thrash listed as RB1, but Fox got a lot of playing time at that running back position a year ago. He had 90 carries, over 400 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So very effective. He built a really good role there, or relationship rather, with Slavin. As you see, another one of those read options, one of those reasons why it's been so effective.
And Curtis Gentry was the one to make the tackle on that play, but a flag was thrown. And it's going to be on the tackle. A face mask on the Bruins. So now it's going to be first down still for the Spartans. First down and 5. Spartans still taking their sweet time on this possession. In no hurry with that 16-point lead. And whistles blown all around the field as a timeout is called by the Spartans before the snap.
A lot of confusion going on there. Fox and Slavin in the backfield looking over to Coach Harkness and Coach Zulman. Not really sure what was going on there. They didn't know the play call. Looked like there's maybe an audible being called. Bunch of different motions being thrown out there. Slavin playing the air guitar for a little bit. Just didn't look like they knew what was going on, so Zulman elected to call that timeout. Probably smart play. There's no reason to force something. Just have chaos, and especially if you gave up the ball here, it'd be very bad letting the Bruins right back into it.
Yeah, right now, if the Spartans can get themselves a score, make it a 3-possession game, it almost puts it out of hand. But like you were saying, making a mistake and giving it back to the Bruins would definitely put the Bruins in a great position to try to come back in this one.
It would make the game very, very noticeable to everyone else around the SAC if the Bruins were able to score again, get a 2-point conversion, cut into the lead and make it a 1-possession game. But first, they've got to get a huge stop here on defense. You really can't allow any points here because even a field goal will make this a 3-possession game, and you got to think there's just not enough time. The way the Spartans have been going along this drive, it's already been 5 minutes. Do you think they're just going to milk the clock as much as they can whenever they have the ball? So they've got to get a stop here.
And now they are going to be handing it off to Fox as he breaks a couple tackles and another one down to the 10, but the ball's loose. And who's going to recover it? It looks like the Bruins are saying they have it. And then it is Northrop's ball. The Bruins down 2 possessions, and they have the ball with 1:49 left in the third quarter. Wow.
We've got an interesting game now. Brett Fox looks like he was going to maybe be able to take it all the way. And then just at the last moment, the Northrop cornerback steps in, forcing that one there. The third turnover now by the Spartans in this one. 2 picks thrown by Slavin, now that fumble there. And that's just really turning the game around.
When Northrop got down 30-0 in this game, signs of hope looked like there weren't many. But right now, down by 16 with about 17 minutes left in this one, they have a lot of hope. As Barksdale Wilson takes that first down carry, doesn't get anywhere, and it's going to be about 2nd and 10.
And on these short handoffs, the inside zone runs, I don't know if you all have been able to see it, but the main blocker seems like it's Keon Bates. He is lighting it up. On those, Keon Bates just tries to find the closest man to him and just shove him, it seems like, as hard as he can. It's been pretty effective. The guy he's been blocking hasn't been able to get to him there.
And it looks like there's an injury for the Northrop Bruins right now, and we'll be taking a quick break, but we will be back shortly.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead Spartan football as Homestead leads 30-14 in this one right now. And some scores around the SAC. Carroll currently leading Lures 21-3.
They've gotten another touchdown since we last checked in. So is Concordia, up 26-6. Southside finally able to get on the board, but Concordia still dominant in that one.
And Bates drops back, throws an interception, picked off by Sam Stewart, who takes it to the house. Pick 6 for the sophomore Spartan.
And after getting beat earlier in this game, he's right back, getting a huge play. I think that just about seals this one. Bates, another mistake, his third interception thrown of this game, and Sam Stewart able to capitalize.
Wow. That is not what the Bruins wanted there, but what a play by Sam Stewart, getting the play on that ball and taking it to the house.
And I mean, overall, if you just look at this team, a lot of new players in that defensive back area, but they've been pretty solid, to be honest. They've gotten 3 picks already. Gavin Kozad is back there. He hasn't had a pick, but he's been able to break up a few passes. So has Wyatt Little. He's broken up 3 already. Braxton McLaughlin was in on the play before the safety. All of them have been really good back there.
And Chavez gets the kick to go, and we will be taking a quick break, but we'll be back with more Homestead Northrop.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Welcome back to Homestead versus Northrop, following a pick 6 by Sam Stewart of the Spartans and then a missed PAT from the Spartans as they now lead 36-14.
That really just turned around this game after Fox's fumble turned around this game. Seems like this one might be over. 3-possession game, only a minute 27 left in the third quarter.
Now Schmenk returning this one, has some open space past the 30-yard line, all the way to the 45, and finally brought down. We haven't seen kick return work too well for either of these teams, but right there it did.
Well, you see what Schmenk can do when he coach is decisive there on those kickoffs. That's why he's back there, able to get a huge gain.
And a flag was thrown down on that play, so it looks like this kick might be coming, or this return is going to be coming back. And it will, as a holding was called on the Bruins. It's going to bring them back all the way to the 22-yard line. The kick return finally got something going, but called right back.
Well, that hold was likely why he was able to have such a big hole. The penalty was thrown on the left side of the field, far side for you viewers there, which is where the flag was as well. Probably why Schmink was able to have such a good return.
And now the Bruins going to be looking for some momentum back after that pick six thrown last possession. And now a handoff to start off this drive goes absolutely nowhere as the Spartans' defensive line collapses in the backfield, and now it's 2nd and 12.
And starting this drive off, Barksdale Wilson was not in. It was actually Legend Relu there, a freshman running back, taking the carry. So definitely something to watch. Barksdale Wilson, that is, going out on that last possession with an injury. Doesn't come in for that first play.
Now Bates dropping back to throw. Throws one deep up the middle of the field, and that time it's picked off by Wyatt Little. And now he's down to the 30. The 20, still going at the 15. A flag's thrown, but he finds the end zone. We'll see what the flag was, but for now, it's another Spartan pick six.
It's probably going to be on the Spartans, but we've been mentioning it all night long how Wyatt Little has been in the mix of just about every single ball thrown up. He finally gets his pick. That time he takes it to the house, maybe coming back. But man, these cornerbacks and safeties, don't let them get a pick.
And it's going to be on the defense. And the Northrop Bruins are still going to maintain possession. What a huge game shifter that was. So now the officials are looking for the proper placement after the personal foul called on the Homestead Spartans. And it's going to be first down for the Bruins. Actually, for the Spartans, sorry. And now Slavin drops back to throw, throws it deep over the middle. Oxier's open, and then it's broken up. That was Aaron Robinson on the play, breaking up the pass. Oxier almost found himself wide open in the end zone.
And right there, getting in Robinson, he just saved another touchdown there for the Spartans. Slavin was a little late to find him, but he had to get away from the defenders coming at him. So it was a little bit behind Oxier, but he's running out of space in the end zone anyways. So it was just overall a great play by Aaron Robinson to recover after getting beat.
Now Slavin hands it off to Fox. This time he's got some open space. He breaks a couple tackles and gets brought down by multiple Legend defenders inside the red zone with 3 seconds left in this third quarter.
You gotta expect, just let the clock go out here after they reset the chains. Go into the fourth quarter, up 22.
And that will end the third quarter. And we're gonna take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more Spartan football.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits. Rethink your limits.
And welcome back to Homestead football, as we're going to be sending it down to sideline reporter Anthony Gery.
Thank you, Noah. And how about our defense tonight? Homestead's defense, there was a lot of questions about it heading into this game, but wow, have they shined when the offense has struggled. They have turned it up, getting a pick six, getting this crowd back into it. And man, I know the excitement on this bench right now is through the roof. This defense is hyped up, this young defense, and they're just full of excitement, Noah, heading into the fourth quarter.
Thank you, Anthony, and they are definitely excited right now. As Slavin drops back to throw, throws it to the end zone, and it's caught. Touchdown, Grant Leaper. Another Spartan touchdown, and now they are up 42-14.
And just 5 minutes ago, it seemed like the Bruins were going to get right back into this one. Ever since then, it's been all Homestead. And that play right there shows you why Grant Leaper is going to be so effective this year. He's probably the only player on this field that could go grab that ball. Is up high, but he's 6'7". Nothing's too high for him.
And now late Finn Parsley's running out there for the special teams unit on the Spartans. And the PAT is up, and that one is good for the Spartans as they now lead 43-14. And we're going to be taking a short break, but we'll be back with more Homestead Northrop. Welcome back, Homestead Northrop. Homestead leading 43-14 in this one, as there is 11 minutes and 54 seconds left in this ball game. Now the Spartans getting ready for the kickoff on this one. They send this one away, and Schmenk is going to be returning it once again for the Bruins. And he's brought down by multiple Spartan defenders. And now as the Spartans have a 43-14 lead, there's an injury out there on the field. Looks like a Northrop player is down. Jaden Schmenk once again. He's battled a couple injuries today. Hopefully he's doing okay.
We'll see how this Bruins offense comes out after back-to-back turnovers. 14 points scored just off of those turnovers. Bates now at 4 interceptions already on the season, matching his total from a year ago. Obviously, he did not play as a starter a year ago, but struggling in his first one here.
Now on 1st down and 10, Bates rolling out to the left side, pump fakes a pass, and now flings the pass out up there to Matt Morgan, who gets some space and gets a 1st down. But then a flag is thrown late in that play. Might have been in on the tackle. Still no official ruling on the flag yet.
It was a great job just by Bates to even get that to Morgan there. And Morgan get the ball in his hands, scramble around. So you see more of the bench players now for Homestead coming in, getting their opportunity now, up by 29 in this one. You know, on that last play, Morgan lost his towel there, and Justin, defensive lineman, Gavin Martz gave it to him on that one.
And the call on that play was roughing the passer, so the Spartans, or the Bruins, are going to keep on moving down the field.
That'll be a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The result ends up in a 1st down.
Well, finally able to get something going ever since those turnovers. There's about 5 minutes left in that 3rd quarter where the Bruins had all the momentum. Now looking a little better, getting those quick passes out. That's really where they've been effective. They just haven't been able to do it repeatedly. And then they get themselves in trouble, try to run it, lose about 5-6 yards, and then they're in no man's land after that. Forced to just throw it up. Bates has been on those 3rd and longs. Nothing else to really do.
And on that 9-yard reception, it was the tight end Jordan Sell for the Bruins. Bates takes the snap, hands it off. It's a run straight up the middle for Legend Ruley as he gains a 1st down for the Legends. And actually, a correction, that was Jelante Henson on the carry, not Legend Ruley, the star defensive end for the Bruins.
Well, I guess he does it all. You know, we've seen it in the NFL. Refrigerator Perry come over from the defensive side, get some carries on the offensive side. That's what the Bruins seem to be doing now.
Bates throws one over to the right side, and it looked like that one was tipped at the line of scrimmage by the Spartans' defensive line.
Right there, Alex Shy getting his hands up. It's what you're taught as a defender there. If you can't get to the quarterback, just throw your hands up, try to bat it down. That's exactly what Shy was able to do there.
And the Spartans' defense throughout this ball game really has been playing at a pretty high level. Only one time has Northrop really been able to drive the full length of the field and score on them, as Bates hands this one off, this time to Legend Ruley, as he gets a nice gain there for the Bruins.
Bruins now starting to go a little faster pace. They kind of have to at this point. They're still going to huddle up, but at some point you got to expect them to go no huddle. Maybe they're just going to try to run through their normal offense, get some confidence going into next week rather than practicing the no huddle. Every single time they've gone into the huddle, then come out of it. Sometimes it's been bad for them, though, just because of all those delay of games.
Bates under pressure right away on this play, and then he scrambles, and he's very close to the first down. We'll see if he was able to get it.
It's kind of hard to tell on that one if it was designed QB sneak or not. If it wasn't, Janice Schmink was wide open at that right pylon there, but Bates unable to get his eyes up. But it may have just been a QB sneak there the whole time, and he's never even looking for him.
And it was a first down carry there for Keon Bates, as the Bruins continue to move the ball right now with under 10 minutes left in this ball game. Bates hands it off again, this time to the right side, as multiple Spartan defenders are in on that one to stuff the carry for just a few yards.
Once again, handing it off to that quick side of the offensive line. It's probably why they go into that huddle every single time. Just they reset their offensive line so many times, so many moving pieces, just trying to get set there. This time, they're going to come out. It looks like the quick guards are going to be out to the right side, so look for a play going to that right side.
Bates takes the snap, rolls out to the left side as multiple Spartan defenders are coming in for the sack. Gavin Martz was one of them, getting into that backfield and getting the sack for the Spartans.
A great play by Gavin Martz there, getting into the backfield, grabbing that sack. Bates just unable to do anything, rolling to his left. He'd have to throw it across his body, and it hasn't really gone too well, just throwing it up for him in this one. So probably a smarter play, just go down.
Third down and 14.
And now a very long third down for the Bruins, not where they've been best tonight. But let's see what they do here as Bates drops back under pressure again, but this time it shrugs off the sack and drives forward, but still well short of the first down marker, as about 4th and 7 is going to be coming up.
And it looks like on that original hit there, I believe it was by Will Davis there. Looks like he caused a fumble there. The ball bumped right back in to the arms of Bates, and then he was able to get a pretty solid gain.
And now on 4th down and 7, down 43-14. With 8 minutes left in this ball game, it looks like this Bruins squad is going to be going for it.
At this point in the game, they basically have to go for it. You'd expect the ball to go to the end zone on this one. There's not much room to play with anyways, only about 8 yards in between the end zone and the first down.
Bates drops back and instantly tries to scramble, and then he's dragged down short of the first down marker. That's going to be a turnover on downs. Spartans take possession.
I really don't understand the play call there by head coach Bowen. You got to get a first down or score, and he elects to go with a QB sneak to the left side where there weren't any receivers running any routes. It was just a really confusing play call there, and obviously did not work.
Now with under 8 minutes left in this fourth quarter, almost all of the starters for the Spartans still out there on the field for this offense.
It's really shocking to see, but once again, there's so many new pieces to this offense that you got to expect they're just trying to get more accustomed to playing with each other.
Slavin hands off the snap to Manny Rivera, who takes it up the middle. He's got some open space all the way past the 40, jumps over a man, and flies to the 43.
Just about anybody can run the ball, it seems like, for the Spartans team. You throw anyone in that backfield, they're going to be productive. 3 now great running backs have at least gotten really solid games on the night. Thrash, Rivera, and Fox. So Rivera is going to stay in, but Fox is in the game as well. So maybe, especially on this, look to see if he comes across the formation.
And here comes Fox in motion. As the ball is handed off to Rivera, he goes up the gut and then is brought down for a couple-yard gain by multiple Bruin defenders.
Right now, just trying to milk the clock as much as you can. Take it down. You got 40 seconds each time. Only 7 minutes to go in this one. And you're up 29. You'd expect this to be the last drive for the starters if they even go the whole way in this one. Just on this drive alone. Don't want any injuries. It's the first game of the year. A really solid statement win.
And once again, they're going to run it up the gut with Rivera as he's flipped to the ground after a couple-yard gain. Once again, 3rd and 3 coming up for the Spartans.
Scores in the SAC tonight. Over at Lewis, Carroll 35, Lewis 3 in the 4th. Concordia leads Southside 26-6 in the 4th. Snyder leads Northside 20-18 in the 4th.
Spartans continuing to be in no rush at all. There's a good chance that they run this one too, maybe go option play, but I wouldn't expect Slavin to take any more hits in this one. It's a 3rd and 3 where you could run it or just be a quick pass.
And Slavin once again hands it off to Rivera as Rivera almost looked like he had space for a second, but then was brought down, but still got the first down and about a 10-yard or 7-yard carry for Rivera. 1st down and 10 for the Spartans. They keep on moving the chains.
And I think Spartans' favorite plays so far in this one has just been that inside handoff. They've loved it. They keep on going to it over and over again, and for good reason. It's worked just about every single time. The only times it hasn't is if they've run it a few times in a row, and that was back when Fox was at running back. Here they've been able to run it a few plays in a row and be effective.
And now once again it's Rivera to the outside. He's got some open space this time as he gets all the way down close to the 20-yard line. Manny Rivera coming in late into the 4th quarter in this game, and he's running the ball down the field. And Grayson Yenser comes in at quarterback for the Spartans.
Our first look here at Grayson Yenser. First time getting some varsity action. He's a sophomore. We'll see it a lot of times probably for the Spartans anytime a game gets out of hand because you'd expect him to likely take over next year.
And now another carry for Manny Rivera as he has been the workhorse this drive for the Spartans as he once again is close to the 1st down marker. And they are going to move the chains.
And why not keep on giving it to him? You're milking the clock down now under 4.5 minutes. And he keeps on getting great yardage. There's no reason not to at this point.
And now a 1st down and goal for the Spartans out from the 10-yard line. As Grayson Yenser still in at quarterback for the Homestead Spartans, the sophomore. Takes the snap and then keeps it himself, runs it straight up the middle, close to the end zone. And the official call is going to be a touchdown. Homestead finds the end zone once again, and this time with a sophomore quarterback running it in.
Great job by Yenser there. Just stepping in for a few plays, but being effective while doing so. It is great to see there. I don't know if you all could see it, but Peyton Slavin comes running down the sidelines. Now he's jumping up and down in excitement for his fellow quarterback. He wants to be the first one over there to congratulate him.
And the Homestead Spartans now up 49-14 with 3:50 left in this ballgame. Stravez in to kick the extra point, and it goes up and in, but the flag is thrown as that might have been a late hit to the kicker on that one.
Really just a delayed play there. Stavridis didn't go to kick it for a while, allowing the edge rusher to get around and lay a pretty good hit on Brett Fox there.
And it is a call, a roughing the kicker call on the Bruins. And along with the 50-14 lead, the IHSAA mercy rule is being now implemented into this ball game, meaning we are going to have a running clock for the rest of this game as Homestead leads 50-14.
You know, just if you came watching the second quarter, you'd expect that mercy rule to be in play much earlier, but nonetheless, the Spartans got there and really just dominated this one, got into that 50 burger.
A nice job by the Spartans all around in this ball game. It looked like for a moment there the Bruins had a comeback brewing, but it could not go all the way.
Yeah, it really did for a while. It was about 5 minutes left in that second quarter where it all switched. We thought the Bruins were going to be able to maybe get back into this. They weren't able to. Ended up going by a few turnovers, pick six by Sam Stewart. Wyatt Little got his two, finally got his interception. But just a really great job overall by Spartans defense.
And that kickoff's going to be a touchback after the roughing the kicker on the PAT led to that being moved up. And now the Northrop Bruins are going to be starting off this possession with a running clock down by 36 points. Bruins starting at the 20-yard line on this drive as the clock keeps on ticking.
Bruins just going to try to go through their offense here. Obviously, clock's going to be running no matter what. Run play, pass play. Either way, it's going to be running. Just try to milk the clock as much as possible. Get out of this one.
And as we look ahead to the upcoming games for the Homestead Spartans, next week they're going to be playing at Concordia. We'll have coverage on the .91 FM. Then they'll be playing at Bishop Luers on September 2nd. And then looking at the next 2 weeks, those are two big ones as they'll play against Dwenger and Snyder.
As you mentioned, that Dwenger game here at home and then at Snyder are the two big ones. Those are games that Homestead has got to win if they want to win the SAC.
And right now the Bruins just slowly moving on offense as it's a 3rd and 8 right now. As Bates is still in at quarterback for the Bruins right now. With under 2 minutes left in the ball game now, he drops back. He's rolling out to the right side, trying to find somebody open. Nobody is, and throws an incomplete pass. But a flag was thrown after the play on this one.
And if you see there on your screen, north side against Snyder, that's a very important game. Two of the top teams this year going into the fourth quarter. It's going to be really interesting to see how that one ends. Dwenger handling Wayne as you expect. You saw earlier Concordia was still up on south side. Kokomo leading Leo right now. And then the only one final, 42-3 victory for Carroll.
And once again, a roughing the passer penalty on the Spartans. Going to keep this drive alive, but the clock keeps on ticking as it's now under 50 seconds left in this ball game. Bates drops back, looks the throw, gets it over to Matt Morgan, and he gets past the first down marker as the clock keeps on ticking. Either that's going to be the last play of the game or we got one more left. Up to the Bruin offense here.
They've not looked like they've been completely into this drive, so probably good chance that that was the last play, unless they just want to throw one last Hail Mary.
2 seconds left. Let's see if they get it off. And that will do it. The Homestead Spartans win the ball game 50-14. What a performance all around from this Spartan squad week 1.
A statement win made by the Spartans here. Like you said, a great win for them. A 36-point victory, putting up a 50-burger. The most out of any SAC team this week so far. Just a great job by the Spartans and a great way to start their season off.
And last year, the season high for the Spartans offense was 59 points, and they went out and got 50 week 1 here.
And once again, Coach Zulman improving his record even more, 17-2 now in home openers, 13-1. Just against Northrop. He's been really solid, starting and just against this team.
Yeah, he has been very solid all throughout his career with this Spartan squad. What a performance by this Spartans team so far this season with this week 1 domination.
Both offensively and defensively, they were so good overall, forcing 4 turnovers and then scoring at will.
And now we're going to be sending it down to the field with Anthony Gery as he's with Brett Fox.
Fox and Brox. Fox, amazing game for you personally, but the team, 50-14. This must be a huge win. How are you guys feeling?
But there's too many mistakes that we got to clean up, and for sure we got to be better. We got to be better. That's all I got to say.
Dominant night for you. 2 catches for 36 yards receiving, 13 carries for 132 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. Of course, you had that fumble in there. But other than that, that fluke fumble, you played an amazing game.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And then starting slot today after playing running back last year, what was that change like? Clearly it's working out for Homestead right now, but what has it been like for you?
It's great. We can spread the field out, but it just helps the team out tremendously because they do not know what we're going to be doing at all.
And now moving forward after this big win, tonight you have Concordia next week, 2 games on the road back-to-back. How are you guys going to build from this? How are you guys going to change your momentum?
Clean up the mistakes that we had. We had too many drops, too many fumbles. We just got to clean it up, and we're going to do better every other week.
Thank you, Brett. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you, Anthony. And what a performance it was from Brett Fox. And we'll be taking a quick break, but we'll be right back for the OPS post-game report.
Southwest Allen County Schools is our home. Home to dedicated staff, passionate teachers, and a generous community that values and supports education. We believe our culture of learning embraces change, flexibility, and innovation. We believe our schools serve as the hub of our diverse community. We value hard work, attention to craft, and tenacity. We ask questions, share ideas, and work together to find new ways to do new things, great things, for our students, for our district, and for our community. In partnership with parents, we believe learning encompasses critical thinking, creative thinking, collaboration, communication, citizenship, and resiliency. We take pride in our successes and share in our accomplishments. We are Southwest Allen County Schools, preparing today's learners for tomorrow's opportunities.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
And welcome back to the OPS post-game report after a Homestead 50-14 win over the Northrop Bruins. And now we're going to be taking a quick look at some game stats from this game here tonight. Northrop actually ended up with more first downs than the Spartans, but that's mainly due to the big plays. The Spartans didn't need first downs. They just were getting some touchdowns.
That's exactly what it was, a 60-yard touchdown run by Brett Fox, 75-yard touchdown reception from Slavin to Oxier. Those big plays are what led to 453 total yards of offense, over double the Bruins, only getting to 202. 40%, though, from quarterback of the Bruins, Bates. He really struggled. Slavin, not great. Definitely needs to clean it up. He had 2 picks, 12 of 22, but they really just got set up by that offensive rushing. They were so good, averaging over 10 yards a carry.
Yeah, it was completely about the run game throughout this entire game. The Spartans, with so many different running backs, they had Brett Fox, they had Manny Rivera, they had the starter, Jake Thrash. Everybody was making big plays for the Spartans in the run game.
Yeah, they were. That's really what helped them open up the pass game. Pass game didn't work. They went back to the run game. That's how they locked this one down. Then on the defensive side, once again, solid, forcing 4 turnovers. They had 3 turnovers themselves, the Spartans did. But 25 rushes for 23 yards for Northrop, under a yard a carry. That's just a crazy stat to see, especially when Homestead's over 10 themselves. Just shows you how good that defense was.
Yeah, and one thing you just can't ignore in this game is the interceptions that the Spartans were able to get. Not only were they huge turnovers, they also put the Spartans offense in good field position multiple times, and they also took one to the house for a score.
Yeah, Sam Stewart just picked it off, took it right to the house. White Little thought he did the same thing after getting a bunch of batted balls, but that was called back. Spartans still got possession, though. Then starting off the game, Isaiah Elward, number 25, stepping into a new role, being a new starter now, getting 2 picks. One was just an easy one thrown up. He almost took that to the house. And then another one was a jump ball that he came down with. So this defense is really leading to the offense.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal all-around performance from both sides of the ball. And Noah, looking at all the great players from this ball game, who's your player of the game in this one?
My player of the game would be Brett Fox. Even though he had that fumble, he had over 130 rushing yards in this one, 2 touchdowns. He also had 2 catches for 36 yards. I think if Slavin didn't have those interceptions, maybe had another touchdown or 2, he would have been player of the game. But Fox was just really solid on the ground other than that one mistake. But he said he's going to clean it up. He said they've got lots of work on. We'd like to see that next week.
Yeah, and Fox really was used all over the ball, all over the field for the Spartans. They have him in the backfield. They got him in the receiving core. They know how to use their talent this year with the Spartans.
Yeah, and it really does spread the field out very well, give them so many different options, especially he gets in that backfield. They have Kale Swagger run across motion right before they hike it. He runs across. They could hand it off to him, give it to Fox. He cuts in, then back outside. He's really good at finding the opening holes, and that's just what he's able to do. This new offense has been so good. They've clicked very well.
Yeah, they've been clicking very well, and we are going to be ending this broadcast now with a Homestead victory, 50-14. What a performance all around by the Spartans. I'm Noah Johanningsmeier. Thank you to all the Homestead Live members, including my color commentator, Noah Lancz, and have a good night, Spartans.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.